So I hope they only play up. I just want to see it get serious. I don't have any bias towards which team I want to make it. I always root for the underdog. I just want it to be close. I want us to go to that late game.
Bias.
Well, what's your bias?
How cool would it be if Brave makes it to the major? We know Secret already probably going to TI, and if they don't make it major, meaning they get 5th, meaning they still get 50 points or something, they get a little bit of points, and they're still doing get Brave to the major.
There'd be some solid memes about it too. Puppy washed up, all that kind of stuff, just because he didn't make one major.
That's how it goes.
I'll be first to Reddit, alternate account.
Let's take a look at the standings. I believe we have those updated as well. At least I hope so, because it is looking very, very spicy. Sure, Hellbear Smashers now the first and only team to be guaranteed eliminated here from Upper Division. They only have one more series left to go, and they'll play that on Saturday against Alliance. And Alliance, Hellbear Smashers is also the team that they will continuously try hard, even if they know it doesn't mean anything for them, because it means quite a bit for Alliance. But with Brave winning here, it means look at this. There's nothing decided other than Hellbear Smashers out, and all the 7 teams still have a good shot of making it major. Owen.
Yeah, there's every reason to make sure that from now on, not that I'm sure any of you at home were missing any of the series, but you got to catch the rest of the series now that they're going to finish up this Upper Division, because so much can change. Very few teams, if any, are really safe. Nobody's safe. It's all up in the air right now. So, this is sort of the dream scenario for the ending of the league, where pretty much every game, sort of absolutely every game, is going to count massively.
Yeah.
Theoretically, is it possible to go 7 teams 4-3? Like, if we have 4-3s and then 0-7, like, mathematically that's possible, but we should check the future matchups.
Someone do the math.
The pre-show of today, we had a Reddit post highlighted because there's a guy called Ollie.
Hi, Ollie.
Ollie.
Hello, Ollie.
He calculated what was needed for a potential 6-way tie.
Okay.
And he was wrong, because he was on Reddit.
For that, let's see, Brain was not necessarily mentioned. It is actually a 6-way tie, excluding Brain.
Okay.
So I think Brain can be included in that tiebreakers. No, it can't, because Secret would need to win their 2 remaining games in order for this 6-way tie to still be possible. So I don't think a 7-way tie is possible, but a 6-way tie there is still potential.
Let's
for
go.
that.
Okay. That's infinite round robin.
What about a 9-way tie?
Not possible.
Okay. There's literally 8 teams.
Little bit of math.
A good test, though. That's a compliment
Making
right there.
sure that the viewers kept track of how many teams are here.
Okay.
Keep you guys on your toes.
Yes, and there was someone who was on his toes the whole series. It is Wish. Congratulations on the series, Wish. Can you hear us? Hello?
Oh.
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, well, great. Congratulations. I was very impressed with your series today. We had a little bit of before the show, we had Skylark had a pre-game interview, right? He did that earlier this week, and he talked about trying not to underestimate your opponent, and that was a topic of conversation for you guys. And now, obviously, game 1 of this series didn't go too well. Can you talk to me about what went wrong?
Thanks. Yeah, it's the classic, we can beat T0, we don't need to ban it, then we go into the game, and it's like, it's pretty annoying. So next games we just ban it and we just play our game. And the first game it was like pretty bad communication, and we had to reset our minds and everything.
Were you surprised to get your hands on the TA in the second game?
Actually no, because it was pretty early TA pick, so I was surprised they didn't touch the TA third game, but I didn't think it was that good of a game in third.
Okay, and then my final question is regarding the last game's draft. We saw the Earth Spirit, the Grimstroke, and the Ancient Apparition. Which one of those were you expecting to have played as a core by the Hellbear Smashers?
I thought it was offlane AA, but it was like still pretty griefy pick in my opinion, because it's not like just AA is the auto win against Morph, so this is kind of grief for them. So I think we were pretty comfortable going into and we got the really cheesy last big Razor. Initially mid-tiny, but like it was such a great Razor game, just decided to cheese them.
Yeah, it worked out well, and we were totally on board with thinking that the AA was going to be the core, which turned out it wasn't. Obviously, I'm here with BSJ and OD Pixel. I'd also like to ask you some questions.
You first.
No, oh, sure. I wish. I just wondered, sort of, obviously with your next series coming up, it's going to be a huge one, very important. I believe it's in about a week's time. What does sort of the upcoming schedule look like for you guys in this week? Like, is it going to be super intense, sort of scrimming every day? Do you guys give yourself a bit of a break? Like, how hardcore do you have to go here on this build-up for what's going to be a very important series for you?
I think we're probably gonna take one day off. Then we're playing some other tournament same time, and that's just it. We're just gonna prepare for Secret and hope we're gonna play our best games.
Awesome.
I think everyone has their favorite hero, and we all at least think it's your Templar Assassin. And I would just ask you, what about TA drew you to the hero? Like, why is it your favorite hero?
I don't think. I think my favorite hero is definitely Tinker, not TA. But I mean, in my opinion, TA is like S tier mid right now, because like this third spell, you can play from range, you can 3-shot enemy cores at all the stages. Like, I don't know, this hero is so insane, and it's very hard to punish.
So what makes Tinker your favorite hero then?
I don't know, I think it's very, very fun. And it's very fun when you just constantly annoy your enemies.
You're that kind of guy that just wants to perma-sheep somebody to make them feel bad, huh?
Yes, that's pretty fun.
I respect that. I hate you, though.
But what needs to be changed about Tinker for Tinker to be picked? Because at the moment, there's no Tinker pickers.
Yes, I have no idea. Like, this hero is so bad for like so many years. I don't know. I don't think we won even one single scrim with Tinker, but
But you've been trying.
yeah, we keep trying, but it's not looking good.
I'm sure there's a lot of viewers that are actually going to be pretty happy about that as well. Wish we're going to let you celebrate with your team. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and looking forward to seeing you play next week.
All right, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. And Braim, they're going to have their job cut out for them and preparing for Team Secret, because that's next week. And for people wondering what time, it would be the same time slot as they had today. So their starting time is 1800 CEST for their series against Team Secret, if the lower division series before that doesn't run late, but you know the drill. We will have another series tonight, though. It's going to be an exciting one as well. And I hope you're ready. We're going to take a quick break, but when we're back, it is time for Alliance taking on Team Tundra. See you in a bit.
That's see, now we're talking. Is there any thousands in there?
Wait, this is not grief now. What am I talking about? Or is it two the same? Are they the same? They're the same. It's Monopoly money. It looks fake. Anyway, we got his wallet. It's fine. He's still there, though. I see him. Shouldn't we tell him?
No, it's fine. He doesn't need it. It's not like he's driving.
Yeah, and it's not like he's spending his money on food.
True.
Because we get catering. Very nice.
Looks like he spends money on food.
Let's take a look at the standings and see what the state of the game is right now. Because yes, Alliance has been doing really well, other than the one drop on the series last week against Brame at Tundra. They are now listed like they look like they're not in a good spot. And to be fair, okay, they're not in a good spot because definitely, I mean, we can sugarcoat it all we want, but they are coming in as the underdog here up against Alliance. But they did take a game of OG, Brian.
It took a series.
I mean,
OG,
that's what I mean.
They took a game off of Secret. I think they're in a much better position than this rating would tell you, because previously in like the first 2 weeks, we thought Tundra was in a really bad position because they lost to Brame.
Yeah.
But it turns out Brame is actually really legit. And they're taking games off a series off of a whole bunch of other teams.
Yeah.
So losing to Brame, especially when you have like a roster change like this, I don't think that's that big of a deal. It may hurt them really badly towards the tail end of this, but I think they've actually got a decent shot against Alliance, especially since I feel like the drafting pattern is a little bit solved for Alliance. You know what they're going to be coming at you with. Whether or not you could beat is something to question.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go for it.
I was just going to say that I really want Alliance to lose this series because this is the first step towards that 5 or 6 way tiebreaker. I'm sorry, Alliance. Nothing against you guys.
That is true. Alliance needs to lose the remaining 2 series.
Games of tiebreaker.
Loda, if you're watching, they're a bit of distance away from me and Brian.
If you guys were
Just
2
be
and
sure
3,
to
I
aim
would
at
root
the right
for you.
guy.
Yeah,
Okay?
I would root for you guys. Nothing to do with who it is.
All right, let's start by talking about Tundra first. Actually, we are mostly talking about Nine when we're talking about Tundra because we sat down with him earlier, and he has said some interesting stuff, and very important stuff about mindset.
He's trying the best he can.
Right now we're in a tough spot in the DreamLeague DPC qualifier, but we're not letting the pressure get onto us. We've been in the same situation last season and we've gotten out of it, so I'm positive that we can handle it again. The short-term goals right now are just to beat Alliance. We make sure that we don't drop into the lower division.
Trying to just do as much damage, but that's going to be a nice push script over on the back line as this Rabbit just off here from 33 and they're trying to just push up.
About that mindset that you never give up, even if everybody on the internet hates your guts. Hey, I can say that. That's not a rude word. It's fine. Even though everybody can say like, oh, they don't stand a chance, you know, you gotta believe in yourself, and that self-belief is what pushes you forward and what gets you in position to eventually do well and maybe take the ages at some point. You never say never, and I think it's good to hear Nine talk about that, Brian.
Yeah, I think one of the best lessons I've learned in the last year of Dota is that the perspective of why is a hard game so miserable for most people. We were actually talking about this earlier on the way to the studio. I think hard games should be more enjoyable. It's like a challenge. You're trying to figure out instead of having a million ways you could win the game, there's only like 10 or 1 or specific plays that need to be made, and that's the creativity part. I think what I've seen teams like OG really show, and what a lot of other teams are embracing, is let's be happy like that we still can come up with some way to play this game. Let's not worry about the current state we're in. And it's honestly, it makes Dota more enjoyable. It makes the games better. To see these crazy fights come back and forth, like OG winning from 20k down against Secret. Anything can happen in the game of Dota. The other team can mess up just as well as you could have in the early game, right, Cap?
Yeah, I'm just imagining Brian on his stream with like this forced smile and game's really challenging right now, guys. Sure is challenging.
Go
What
team.
a great game!
I haven't gotten the whole like tone of voice down yet, so I usually don't say too much. I just do.
I mean, it helps for Tundra specifically for their playstyle because their most successful strategies are big team fight.
They are.
Those are big comeback mechanisms, right? The Enigma, the Tidehunter, those are the most successful heroes so far.
Yeah, and as I said, you've got to always believe in yourself. On the other side, on Alliance, we talked to S4, and he is talking about something somewhat similar, about how to recognize the drive to win in people.
Into tier 1 Dota is the no Tidehunter days when Loda and Ake kind of approached me out of nowhere, kind of. That's where I got to get a lot of experience from like these players who's been in the scene for like such a long time, Dota 1, etc. I think that time, 2012, 2013, like gave me so much experience that I might have missed if I never got the opportunity. That team was super important for my journey in the future.
In a heart.
Everyone wasn't hungry enough to like win. Sometimes you can see the potential in players by how much they want something, like how much they want to win. And I think right now in this team, I kind of saw a lot of that in the team. That's like one of the main reasons I joined. Not just because it's Alliance, not because my old friend Loda. It's like the potential is there in the players.
Players for sure, indeed. And yeah, no Tidehunter did end up leading S4, of course, also to a TI victory. And speaking of that, they now also they have upgraded a little bit. Yeah, it's an upgrade from no coach to a coach, Cap. They got PPD as a TI champion coach.
Yeah, especially since when it comes to this online, I feel like you kind of need that fresh voice sometimes to be able to come in and help stimulate growth when it comes to whether it's personal growth in the players or it's overall team like strategic growth. And especially since I was saying, like, I feel like drafting style, you know what they're good at and you know what they want, right? It's the beef, it's the tanky boys. You look at some of their win rates and some of their non-strength cores, and it's pretty low. Phantom Lancer, PA, those heroes, like, they haven't won with. Wraith King, though, they're dominating, right? Centaur's going to be one of their go-to heroes. Timbersaw's one of their best pickups, you know? It's, you know what they like to be able to do right now. Even the agility heroes, Morphling, I mean, that's kind of like a survivable, like, solo, independent core for Nico, baby. Faceless Void. Those are the only two agility heroes that they have a winning win rate on right now.
Yeah, they look good on it. The question is, how much can you diversify? Obviously, that has worked for them, right? They got figured out a little bit last week by Brame. I'm sure that also Tundra took their time to study what they've been doing, and they now also will have an answer to that style. Like, how much can you really change on that in just a week, Brian?
I don't think you can change too much. I've actually been thinking about it a lot. I wonder how much of EG S4 has carried with him to this team, because I think EG is the famous team for being like the best at what they do, and eventually by the end of the tournament, people figuring out what they do, and that's why they always get second or third. And I want to see Alliance get past that. You know, I don't know how much. I don't think you can do it in a week. I think somebody like PPD can influence it. I think like you want to stick to what you're good at, but I don't want to be able to predict that you're going to pick DK on the third game of a best of 3 every single series.
On the contrary, though, that's for TI. Right? For right now, being the best in the world at what you do is going to be able to get you second, first, and when it comes to the DPC. That'll get you to majors. That'll get you to points. That'll get you to TI. And I think it's fair enough that they can focus on just their own strengths right now, because being the best in the world, just because you know somebody's going to do something doesn't mean that you can stop them.
That is true. And at the moment, the only thing that matters is making it to the major, so you can get to TI. And Alliance is taking quite the right steps to get to that major, as they already are 4-1. Let's see if Tundra can make a little bit more of a dent in their armor as we are heading to the draft of Game 1 of Tundra versus Alliance. Up to the break!
5 seconds remaining. Alliances turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Alliances turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Alliances turn to pick. Radiant team pick. Witches. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Tundra versus Alliance, upper division of the Western European DPC League. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel, and we are moments away from the draft between these two teams. Tundra, they have an uphill battle here against Alliance, as Alliance is coming in as the favorites, but we also know that Tundra recently have got their full roster on the bootcamp.
I'm not standing.
No
you guys
way.
are cheating.
Yeah, but you raised your stool.
You raised your stool. Oh, wow. We're actually way into the draft. Okay.
Giving away my secrets, Cap.
We got the Centaur first phase picked. Now, that is something that I would imagine Tundra was predicting, so what's their answer to it?
A lot of minus armor. The Gush plus the little Shredder. It doesn't necessarily deal with the Centaur early because it's not the lane encounter, but
5 seconds remaining.
like a PA, some carry that would set up a gank pretty decently, and you can rotate 1 or 2 heroes in. That's the big deal about Centaur. He's going to show on lane. He's going to be pressuring the tower. I think the hero struggles the most when you kill him once or twice between Vanguard timing and Blink.
What do you think about this Death Prophet? You think that's 5 position Death Prophet since they see Tidehunter?
Maybe?
They've only played Death Prophet once. It was a limp Tidehunter, a limp Death Prophet, and I can tell you what position they picked it because it was very recent. It was versus Brame last week.
Did they win that game?
They have been having
they picked it
very early.
Very early.
Tiny. I think the last time they picked DK, it was in the first one too.
Oh, they picked it 4th.
Oh.
That game.
Anyway, I just think that's a possibility. I think that's an option. Meanwhile, Tundra, I feel like this Tidehunter, I think, is kind of important for them, but I actually feel like the Enigma is something that could be key for them winning the series against Alliance. And everything that I said about Alliance and their drafting, it also applies to Tundra. Because I feel like this team is very telegraphed in what they have been successful with so far. It's big team fight. It's how they beat Secret. It's how they beat OG. It's like every single time you look at their lineup, if it's a W, it's got a superior team fight.
The King is an NA player, so let's be honest. He likes his farm. He likes to have high net worth impact in the game. We saw them try Vino jungle. They've been extremely successful with Enigma position 4, where he kind of turns into a 3, almost a 2 in terms of the net worth charts. And I think they should buy into that. I think they kind of have already, and keep leaning into it. Snaking will have high impact. He's like the NA Absol. He's trying to get a lot of farm. He's a little bit greedier.
Yeah, you cannot rein snaking in as a player and tell him we need you to be more sacrificial. I feel like he's a player that you actually have to in some ways mold your lineup around to him. And it's worth it. It'll be worth it.
He's a good player. He will capitalize. Like he is the game winner. And we saw him like on Spirit Breaker in the first couple series, and that hero's never gonna have any net worth. I felt like he looked out of place. So,
and when we had a winner's interview with Tundra when they won against OG, we did not talk to Snaking, but I think it was either to Fada or to Netta, and it
was Netta.
Yeah, and he said like we knew that by getting Snaking on our team, he would be a little bit more vocal than other people, but they were happy with that. Like it's something that they expect.
There's that enigma.
Right?
They respect it.
Yeah,
I respect Alliance for respecting it. When they pick all these, oh god.
I mean, it's team fight and anti-beef, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It's good against all the stuff you like to play.
10 seconds remaining.
I was on the same page. Mind meld there, Cap.
We're linked right now,
5
Brian.
seconds remaining.
Wow.
So, are you thinking what I'm thinking for the next pick for Tundra?
Once you tell me, I'll know exactly what you're thinking.
See, I was gonna have you lead first.
Oh.
To test.
You know what? I can lend you a pen and you can write it down.
Okay.
If you want.
I didn't actually have a hero.
I'll write one down.
All right.
Okay.
Alliance
Do any write it anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere. Okay.
These are my two options.
That's picks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're writing it down on a piece of paper so that people can't steal each other's thoughts.
I mean, I see his, but
This is true.
Don't lie.
That's actually a
I
good
didn't
point.
have another hero, actually.
We're both thinking similar things here.
Yeah.
They're not the same heroes,
We've
but
got
they're similar
we've got a
things.
similar
5
idea.
remaining.
Yeah, I'll write that down.
Great panel.
Wait, which one was yours? Who wrote WD?
That's me.
Okay.
I wrote Witch
I don't think that's a bad idea, but I think Snapfire is excuse me, I think it's their 5 position.
It probably is, but I figured
spotted
Witch
hero.
Doctor is nice against the old Centaur offlane.
Yeah, I like the idea though.
So Brian wrote down Tusk and Oracle, so a save coming out. And
We're talking about for Alliance, right?
No.
Oh.
I did say Tundra, but I could tell you were looking at the Death Prophet.
Yeah. It makes sense because you want to save for the Death Prophet.
Shadow Demon made sense too because it goes.
It's also a save, but it's also percentage-based damage, right?
Yeah, because Capshead says Shadow Demon and Leshrac.
I like Marana for Tundra.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's
Always
really good
like
disengage here.
Marana Tide. It's a good combo.
You want Snaking's Marana?
Yeah, I think that's a very high impact 4 position. At least in my pubs, they always arrow the range creep. They say, "Oops, I missed the carry," as I proceed to arrow every single range creep.
Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Secure the range creep.
There are times. There are absolutely times to do it, and then there are times to not do it. And it's okay to not have to discern between those two. Just arrow that range group, guys.
They're taking a long time to decide their last ban here. Is there any tanky boy that they should be wary of? They banned out the Oracle, actually, that you mentioned. They don't want to have that save.
Oracle and Tusk were my #1 picks for Alliance. I think the Tusk 5 is real potent right now. I think Brain made it look really good last series. I think it's nice against Tide. Any ranged carry
remaining.
loves playing with Tusk, and Tide will struggle against tag team plus ranged
5
carry.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, if you can get away with it, a lot of these 5 positions that represent a lot of damage. Dark Will is another good example of like if you can greet it into the 5 position, it's so nice because it's just a question of whether or not your laning phase goes fine, right? And Tusk is better at securing laning phase than say the Dark Willow. That is
The thing about that I think a lot of teams are just now realizing, myself included, is that you have to just pick a strong laning carry at that point, because you are effectively greedier because that 5 position is a hero that would normally have a higher priority of farm. So you can't just choose to be like, okay, Willow Medusa. You need Willow Jug, Willow Troll, something that's also going to do well in lane despite having the 5 Willow, because that Willow will eventually carry you through the mid game. A lot more space to capitalize on it if you give it that start. They go for the clockwork. Pretty disruptive against these 2 heroes so far for Alliance. I like it a lot. Gives them that roamer. Guess it's snaking.
I'm okay with it more if they don't do clockwork Tide. And
Yeah,
Snapfire. And then you've got a minus armor combination. Cookie works really well. Any mobility, or I guess like Cookie's more of like a gap close, really helpful. Alliance do get themselves a save of sorts, and it's big team fight that also Tidehunter can't purge off, which is kind of an interesting idea.
But it's not really something that's gonna, like, they don't really have a carry that's really gonna kill anybody yet. Like, both Tide and Snap and Clock, they're all pretty tanky.
Go for that gyrocopter. Gyrocap.
Yeah, they do need some...
You got the melee clockwork, ranged carry, you want it to be magical. Because of the Wyvern, mixed damage cores. Just don't pick Luna.
Medusa. Yeah, please.
Medusa? I heard Medusa? Okay, there you go.
To our clockwork in the safe lane.
Yeah.
Hero.
I don't mind it. Medusa is one of the most boring heroes in Dota, but it's interesting to see in a competitive match because at the end of the day, you got like this team of 4 that's tasked with hold the door. The first 15-20 minutes, and there's a lot of momentum coming out from Alliance so far. Death Prophet's looking to apply pressure. Centaur's going to apply that early pressure. I think Snake King's move, whether or not he's on the Snapfire or the Clock, assuming he's on the Snapfire based on lane duos making more sense, really needs to have high impact in shutting this down. They go for the Slark. Okay.
You don't seem to like that very much.
You know, it's the pride issue. I've tried Slark like three times this patch, and I think I'm good at Slark, and then I just lose miserably. It's very good against Tide Medusa cores. Surprisingly bad against Clockwork, just because he's very good at kiting you and just like burning your mana, disrupting the fight that you're trying to suck the essence from these guys while you're ulted and stuff. So it's not perfect, but he should have a good start. And
you think so? I know like Slark has always been good against Tidehunter, but I'm a bit concerned that Snap Tide is actually so much single target that Slark may not be able to get to that position that he's bullying the offlaner. Like
you're right, I'm full of BS. I never win my lane on Slark. I'm expecting him to experience the same thing I do, and because otherwise I'd feel bad. So my ego would be hurt a little bit.
It doesn't help that he's got a Winter Wyvern behind him too, right? I mean, it could be, but it's either way, it's not the best lane winning hero, right?
True. I actually had a Wyvern as well in my game. I was against Timbersaw. Dude, that game was miserable. Don't remind me of it.
I'm sorry, Brian. I didn't know.
I did have that PTSD a little bit here.
Continuing to ban away saves, they're going to take away the Shadow Demon, which Shadow Demon Centaur is really good combination, and it gives you the save for the Death Prophet still, and the Slark. Slark is nice to be able to have saves with.
Is Shadow Demon nice against Clock? I actually don't know. Is this like a really good Rubik game?
I think it's fair enough. Like you've got, so what you can do, right, is he ever hooks you and stuff, you disrupt him, get out, like you hit the cog once, and then you disrupt him, hit the cog again, and then you can walk out. You're okay.
I see. This is an insanely good Rubik game for Alliance, isn't it? Rubik against Clock and Lane, you got the lift, you got Rubik against Tide, Snapfire, pretty good spells, pretty easy to steal.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Rubik Centaur is a nice combo. Is that hero just bad or something?
We saw Handscape play Rubik against OG win the victory for Alliance.
There you go.
Alliances. Any
other supports? Like if you did a Wyvern 4 like you were talking about, is there any 5s? Because Oracle's
Warlock.
They banned Grim. I think that would have been a good option.
Warlock seems to have fallen off. I thought it was the up and comer.
I'm down for Warlock. But
Warlock is good-ish against these big tanky
I don't like it against
with Fatal Bond. I think you need more constant damage. Don't be too close. What tornado? Let's track is it be danced. Here's Death Prophet.
It's looking like a nice Queen of Pain game.
Oh.
That's a 9 hero if I've ever heard of one.
What are other 9 heroes? Pango. But against Winter Wyvern.
They don't have any early saves for this Death Prophet. I think you want something that's meant to be aggressive on that Death Prophet. Super early. Like, we're talking, you get a +1 Clockwork roaming in, got that Dagger Slow coming in hot. Kunkka. Nah.
They are running out of time. They got like 3 seconds. They go for the Void Spirit in the end.
I feel like that's like, it's like the same idea, but it usually loses lane to Death Prophet, I think. And then Void Spirit, it's weird, but it's hard to explain, but you're a hero that has to be right on top of the creep wave to clear it. And Death Prophet's usually really good against those type of heroes because you come up, she's just going to soul siphon you and bully you away. Usually the heroes that are good against her in terms of defending are like the Pucks and the Quaps because you can nuke the wave pretty reliably and burst her down. So
single target instant disables are also good against Void Spirit if you have the follow-up. And that's what Death Prophet really provides with her silence. So you go like Winter Wyvern, Winter Curse, or Telekinesis, and then you're silenced afterwards, and then your Void Spirit's just dead.
Yeah.
If he's caught by 2 disables, most of the time he's just gone.
10 seconds.
I'm really looking towards Nico Baby for this game, though. I'm pretty confident Limp will have a pretty good
5
start, and I'm also pretty
seconds
confident Centaur will have a good start. So it all comes down to whether or not the Slark becomes a liability, because we are a bit concerned against the Tide plus Snapfire.
I'm gonna hit you guys with the stat.
Hit me.
So we all know that Tundra is 2 and 3 at the moment, right?
Yep.
And they've gone 3-game series, most of their series. Every single time, game 1, Tundra lose.
Been going for a lot.
Stats!
But then you're backing a Slark.
Yeah, you know what? If I can't run with Slark, Nico Baby can't. You know.
In the end, always heal to Brian Nico and always win. Oh, well then I'll go Alliance. Tricked you, Brian. Got him.
Wamboozled.
All right. So, okay, well, you know, we're going to find out who's going to take this first game. As said, there's a lot on the line. Alliance, of course, want to remain at the top here in the Western European DPC League. And Tundra, they don't want to just be in the top. They also want to avoid elimination here. If they lose the series, there's definitely a chance for them to get relegated down to the lower bracket. And I do not want to have that happen. So a lot is riding on this series, and we're going to find out what's going to happen together with Moxie and Fogged.
All right, this is looking like it's going to be a great series here, Fogs. I'm not sure if I fully agree with what our panel's saying. You know, they talked about the stats, saying that Tundra typically, you know, the game number being some nice things coming out from their draft.
Yep, lots of different forms of team fight, very aggressive kind of style. However, pushing buildings is going to be kind of a tough thing for them to do. I feel like Alliance, they do have that department, which is really nice for Limp with the opener, and I think that can actually set the tempo pretty nicely versus Medusa. But we do have to look at some, you know, these specific lanes. Winter Wyvern Slark can be a bit of a weak one. You can take advantage, of course, of that Tidehunter, but we've seen a lot of these times, like with these Snapfires, they can pose a bit of a threat. And Slark has been having some trouble here. We're seeing smoke on smoke action.
I love it. I love seeing this action coming out very early on in the game. Of course, everyone trying to place that vision. Do have a nice ward over there placed by the side of Tundra.
They're going to know. Alliance saw the Medusa for a second actually inside the river, so I think they expect that ward's going to be up there. That's probably instantly de-warded. Yep, let's look at him go. Hanskin, easy money.
Easy, easy. Give me those dollars.
Nice. Did they split the experience? How many people took it? All 3 of them. Okay. Give that mid laner a little bit more of that XP advantage normally. But either way, do see these double wards coming out from the side of Alliance, looking like they're going to be watching rotations in particular from this Clockwork. Fada, I think he's going to be really crucial, you know, making that space for the Medusa. I think the game could get pretty disastrous if they can't secure the Medusa's farm and they start losing tower pressure. I think that's where Slark is just going to be able to thrive and use that advantage to just get that diffusal. And if he does get diffusal, he does get good timings versus Medusa. Alliance could run away with the game pretty quickly, but we'll see, because Medusa in some regions, especially like SE, is unstoppable.
I think a lot of it comes down to, you know, the tempo that Alliance is able to create here. You know, all the eyes are on Nico Baby. You heard them all talking about, oh, Slark, you know, how does Slark going to work out in this? But again, you have Limp on this Death Prophet who's going to put pressure on those towers early. You can take fights early, and that is something that Medusa doesn't want to show up for, right? So there's so much pressure on Tundra to make sure they make that space so that way she can farm without any sort of problems. But I don't think Alliance is going to want to give them that breathing room.
No, I don't think so either. And when I do look at the Tundra draft, their deep push, it's not the greatest. Just to like pull those creep aggro and all that kind of stuff that we talk about, you know, your Linas, your, you know, just any type of like wave clear, it's harder. Snaking is probably the best one for it, and that can be a little awkward versus a Death Prophet. I do think Alliance can definitely set that tempo, but yeah, eyes on Fada. I think this is a big one, a really important one to see how much he's able to do actually to slow down this Centaur Rubik, this very strong kill lane, and it's also just a good lane versus Medusa, the little things mattering. Centaur's massive base damage, and then Rubik Fade Bolt damage reduction. Medusa might struggle down here. That's why you see Skeeter starting out this Quelling Blade, because that base damage differential.
I think it'll also be very important, the amount of stacks that we see created in this game, especially for this Medusa. And we also did talk about, you know, you're putting a lot of pressure over on Fada on this Clockwork. Typically, you know, with this team, we see, well, maybe not with this team, but with the players at least, you know, we typically see Fata wanting to play the Snapfire, and usually Snake King will play the clock. But in this particular lineup, he said it makes the most sense here to lane it down here with Dusa.
Yeah, they don't want to have a double melee versus Slark up top, and then also you have a ranged carry, so that's where you want to usually have one of those melee 5 positions to just secure you the farm. Looks like range creep's going to get slightly denied. I did see Tundra also get one as well, so bottom's actually going fairly even at the moment here. Centaur falling slightly behind, at least in last hits, but good way that they're positioning the lane themselves as top. We're seeing kind of a similar kind of thing, even out. And 9 is doing a good job in mid lane, so the sustain war is okay for him, and he is going to be important to make sure that Limp doesn't get out of control this game, because I do think towers, you know, objectives, those are going to be huge to enable alliances lined up.
So is this a situation that once we get those 6 online, are we going to see a movement like going over to that mid lane? Are they going to try to fight over the towers, or are we going to see them move to one of the other lanes to put pressure on the cores?
I think Alliance would like to make the move mid and just go for that tower as early as possible, yeah. Bottom, this lane is tough, you know, the Centaur, you see a couple last hits not going his way, but that's because they're going for they're threatening constantly. Like Skeeter, low on mana, they're constantly kind of going for him whenever Fata makes his move away from the lane.
I'm actually very happy that we're seeing S4 on a hero too that can make moves, because we saw him in some of the other matches. He was playing, you know, the Necrophos or whatnot, and it's definitely more his wheelhouse when you see him being able to be that initiator, getting those multi-hero stomps. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring in this game.
He's been excellent on almost all of his Centaur games. I think like one of them he had a little bit of a rough one, but he made up for it later on. It was some fantastic play by him and the squad. And Hanskin's also been very impressive on his Rubik. Important to point out, we see him blocking. He unblocked his hard camp, and then he actually reblocked the enemy's safe camp, even though it's sentryed out his top FNG. Got a bit far, but does have the cold embrace. Not going for a kill lane, as you see up here. Getting the cold embrace is much safer, especially because he's got a Slark in his lane, so he just wants to guarantee that safe farm for Nico Baby.
There's not a whole heck of a lot of magic that they can really dump out in that lane early on anyway, so having able to just stay within the lane and also be able to, you know, continue up the harass without having to buy a lot of consumables, right? Because consumables are so expensive.
But they're actually going for the skill build that will have good magic damage, right? Snaking, he's actually opting to not get Little Shredder. He's getting 2 points in Scatter Blast. So he's taking the approach. He saw Cold Embrace skilled, and that's when he immediately put 2 points into that Scatter Blast. So he's adjusting because of what has been shown in the lane.
Lucian has 9 having to go all the way home here.
That is early on. He was winning the lane, though, so that can happen from time to time. And he will still at least be able to get that water room, at least take it away from Limp. I think he only missed like 2 or 3 CS as well, which isn't the worst case there for the Voice Spirit, who's doing, like I said, excellent versus the Death Prophet. Look at these denies on S4. 10 denies.
Dire's top tower is
Not
under
what you
attack.
expected. I'll deny the range creep at the very least.
They're getting a good amount too. Yeah, 3 denies on the clock, 7 on the other as making steps up too far.
I mean, that's what you want to see with your alliance. You want to start seeing the Slark start to ball out of control. And again, it is only 1 kill, but that's, you know, the starting peg here as they're going to be able to climb up that ladder.
It's actually so important. Like Slark in lane, he can suffer a lot. That's what, you know, Brian was talking about in his games. The Slark overall just gets a counterpicked, especially in pub games. Like, you're just going to get ran at inside of your lane. So he saw the lane. They get the Wyvern to back him up. That is an excellent starter. Slark having a good game right now is going to be so important for Alliance. 1k gold advantage. They seem super small, but them doing a good job top securing this farm already for Nico Baby. Orb of Corrosion. Now this Tidehunter has to constantly be constantly scared too. He could actually go down as well if he steps up too far next to him.
Slark is always one of those heroes that doesn't typically do well playing from behind, so any sort of advantage he can get early on, very, very value.
Yeah. Those item timing's going to be huge, and we know that this is going to be an early defusal game for him. He's going to go Corrosion, Boots, probably like Treads, right into that defusal and can be super active. And it's quite good versus all the cores, actually. Void Spirit, Tidehunter, and Medusa do suffer quite a bit versus that mana burn.
Especially if it gets just brought on so early.
Yeah.
It'd be very, very scary for the side of Tundra if he gets the good timing on it.
Yep, definitely. And Snaking, he has to go mid to help out 9 a little bit there, so he refills the bottle, but just means a free lane now for Nico Baby. So your Slark has gotten over kind of the hardest hump, in my opinion, already here, as Fata. Soaking the pressure. He's like, yeah, hit me, please. This is my job. Hit me.
Nothing for you.
Skeeter is falling behind a little bit, though, in the last hits. Look at the Slark. 30-2, Medusa 19-9.
Well, a little bit of that is, like you said, you know, Tidehunter's a bit loath to go forward against this because, you know, the Slark is starting to, you know, build up with the CS and whatnot, and it's just too scary for 33 to really approach unless they're very, very sure they can deal with it.
Ooh, Snaking actually not getting the last there. Nico Baby actually getting it there. I believe like Orber Corrosion or maybe the last tick of Dark Pact gets it.
And gets the ward too.
Yes, he does. The beauty of playing Slark, but not quite yet. It's too early for it, but there's a situation. Nice, easy money. FNG just sitting on the sideline, not playing in the lane really, just playing as a defensive. He's giving Slark everything. This is some really good stuff from Alliance. 2K lead already. This is nice.
Let's see. We do have the level 6s online
Oh, they're
now.
moving. They're actually sending Snaking bottom. They have to do something to alleviate the pressure that's coming onto Skeeter. I like this move.
Cookie hop forward here from Snaking. They've got Scatter Blast. They'll hold him in place for a little bit longer here using those cogs. S4 will eventually fall, so Skeeter will be able to get himself a nice kill, and it's a good rotation coming out from Tundra.
Very nice and very needed. Yeah, these lanes are already quite devastating. This Slark, as you said, absolute free farm, so they have to slow down. Mission mid. FNG comes, they pop the Exorcism. 9 is going to get pushed completely away here. Limp is even chasing him down a little bit.
Don't think they have the vision over here, so it's just gonna go right back there to see making his own rotation. Doesn't really have any mana. They'll keep the Cardi alive using the Golden Embrace.
Wait, 33
and 33 has to yeah, he does. He can't deal with it, and they're making a lot of rotations over to this mid lane now, trying to deal with this Exorcism. I know over on the back line is just going to fight here with the Wyvern. Limp chasing down Snaking. Cookie Snaya, they have damage. No, not quite. Snaking barely going to be able to walk away. As Limp, and you know, he didn't get that much tower damage on, but he got so many rotations and the TP out here from that Tidehunter.
I mean, that's huge. But they have to do this on Tundra. If they lose this mid tower early on, this game is just going to be so difficult for them to play because the Medusa is going to constantly get invaded on, and they don't have the ways, as we said. The D push, it's not really there in their lineup, so they have to just go for those type of fight plays and just manipulate the waves. But I think the lanes are all going to start getting broken on the side of Tundra. I feel like Alliance has just kind of smashed them. Like, Mosquito is going to be in quite a dangerous position down here. As soon as S4 hits level 6, they stampede and get on top of him and go for the kills. And your Nico Baby Slark has an absolute free game on the Slark.
Feel very happy about that. 9 over here in the mid lane. Some harass is coming out.
And they get another D ward, a secondary one.
9 though, gonna go grab up the illusion rune. Limp is here though. And G, gonna sidestep around here. Does have a full embrace. 9, I think he's going to survive here. Goes pop the illusion rune. The chase is on over on the back lines. 9 getting Spirit Siphon down. He's gonna survive with almost no hit points here again. As Limp here is forced to just taunt himself away back to safety over in the river. But again, look at the way that Tundra is forced to react every time. While Nico Baby just allowed to do whatever he wants, hit these creeps. The pressure is on Tundra right now.
It absolutely is. And they have to do these rotations as a reaction. The reason we're seeing Alliance make the rotations is because it's easy for them. Because their Slark, he's independent in the lane, doesn't need help. Centaur doesn't need help bottom, so they can just play around their Death Prophet. Super nice with these two supports to try to pressure the tower. Tundra does keep it alive, but the next Exorcism is coming in 10 seconds, so they have to have a plan prepared already to set up for that next tower defense. Because as we said, mid-tower, they lose this, they lose access to these ancient stacks and these hard camp stacks that they do have set up for the Medusa later on, that Alliance can absolutely steal.
So what's the play here? How do you defer this?
They got to just be ready with the supports. The supports need to just be sitting around mid with 9. I don't think 9 can actually make rotations to alleviate pressure from Skeeter. I think Skeeter just has to kind of resort to just go to the jungle at this point, and they have to bring the two supports mid pretty early on. Limp actually making the move bottom. Looks like he wants to pressure this one here, but looks like S4's kind of taking it on himself.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of being a Centaur here. So you can just tank some of these shots. It's not a big deal. Fada try to push them back just a little bit. He's trying to soak some of these levels, only sitting at level 4. Limp is here, though. Could get themselves a nice pick off here. Yeah, stomp everything, just lined it perfectly. And honestly, they don't need to use the Exorcism. They can just go right back mid and apply the pressure there.
Yep, just swing over. I think both supports as well as Limp, and even S4. I think S4 can even make the rotation over. And now you bring like the +1, and then that's where you really threaten Tundra, where it's like, oh god, we need to respond. And Nico Baby, he snuck in. He stole the whole entire hard camp stack here, and they spotted that the ancient camp is also stacked. So
he's gonna want to go back for more. You know he is.
He can't really kill ancients that effectively as Slark. They might actually have to use like an Exorcism, but if they bring the whole team, yeah, maybe.
I mean, the way that they're playing right now, yes, Nico Baby's having the space, but eventually that mid tower is going to go down, and they can just sweep on in and just start to invade.
Yeah. That's being a little bit more. They're just being some efficient plays right now, giving the Wyvern the mid lane so he can get level 6. Limp taking jungle, so he's getting good levels as this Death Prophet, and Hanskin going to start rotating over to him. And we see this collapse. Look at Centaur's positioning. They're aware of it on Tundra, though. They have the wards. They got to know that this big move is coming, so they have to prepare for it. Can they, though? Can they even set up for the defense is the question. I think it's too hard. Tidehunter goes in there, Exorcism is just going to rip you to shreds, but they just might have to do that so they don't lose that mid tower.
They're trying to put some pressure here on the top tower at the very least. C9, there's going to be the gush. You have to be careful, though, that they don't dive too hard. As over here in the middle lane, you've got the supports. Over with Snake King, Speeder's trying to get some of this damage out. As S4 finds himself a Snake King. Stomp off, the Exorcism coming in. They'll even go and use the Stampede. They're just going to chase down Snake King. They want to get rid of him as fast as possible, and they'll be able to find it. But they do teleport over here. You've got 33. Does have the Ravage necessary. The step forward here over onto S4. Try to save him a little bit longer. FNG probably going to die for this. They follow up with the Witcher's Curse, just holding him in place.
They bring the whole team to defend this tower, while Nico Baby thriving in the bottom lane, getting all the farm in the world. S4 may have stepped up a bit too far here.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why he's still there, but he does get taunted back, so they'll pick off S4. But again, this little fishy in the bottom lane is pretty happy just hitting these creeps.
Okay, and he goes for the Echo Saber, so the mana, the mana regeneration is going to be very effective on him to keep his farm up. Then I'd imagine it'll be the Diffusal. He's playing versus Medusa and all that, so super effective. He's so tanky. This is looking like such a hard game for Tundra. Locking down a Slark as well with their lineup is going to be quite a challenge. They don't really have the easiest stuns to set up onto him.
Yeah, you just have to try to chain stun non-stop. But if you're chain stunning just the Slark, the rest of the team is just going to be able to run around and focus down whoever they want. So definitely a bit of an issue here for the side of Tundra.
And you have to always get into the back lines, right? There's a Wyvern there. So if you blow everything onto a Slark, Wyvern is likely going to be able to save us another D-ward. And this time it is the beauty of the Slark. The Shadow Dance is going to be able to reveal it this time.
I hate playing against Slarks and Zeus, man. They just rip down all my wards.
It is quite miserable, especially when you start getting behind. You just have no vision to actually get out on the map. As it's 3-3, the Lions keeping up that 3K advantage. Same thing for experience, about 2K advantage there too.
And that is something that, we've talked about in some of the other series, is just how important vision is, especially when you have a hero like Medusa that needs to be out there on the map. She needs to be farming. But if all your wards are getting taken down, you never know where they're going to be if they're not showing on the map. And that's so scary, which means you have to babysit this Medusa, and you're not allowed to have the freedom to make the space. It's, do you protect or do you try to make moves?
I mean, for them, it's all about protection. Yeah, it's a Medusa game. You kind of have to play that style. 33 started working on Ancients, and they will be able to at least defend the tower long enough. 13 minutes. Pretty decent job by Tundra to defend mid when they didn't even have, Snapfire 6 at that point. Not a bad defense, but Alliance, they're getting more out of the map.
I think it's just the fact they've been allowed to be aggressive, and Tundra has to play very reactionary. You just don't get that efficiency when you're playing like that.
Let's see what they can do now, though. They do have 9 up top pushing aggressively. They do have Ravage as well as the Kisses as well, the hook shot. So it can be quite strong here if they do get a good grab.
You see S4 here. They'll go for the hook shot over on Centaur. Alderman's in place. They'll follow up with these more Kisses. And they should have enough damage to take down S4, but they do get off that curse as well. So the whole Fata into place.
Oh, the Fade Bolt doesn't bounce. That was so close. Fata actually likely would have died if it did. Perfect grab. That's the exact kill they're going for. Obviously they want to ever catch Slark, but they can't. There's no way they catch Slark with any of these moves, so that's the best in between that they could have gone for. He does hold the Stampede, though. That's the important thing, is S4 doesn't panic. He kind of just accepts his death. He keeps the Stampede for the next situation.
Oh, that was a brutal death there of the little kobold. But the other thing, though, too, they don't use the Ravage.
They don't,
so they still have that threat of the Ravage that Alliance has to be very cognizant of.
Damage will be an issue to throw inside the Ravage without Kisses this early on, as they just really have the Medusa and the Void Spirit to rely on that damage. But, yeah, good moves.
It'll be back up soon. About 50-something seconds. But they do have to be afraid of that Exorcism. Because the Exorcism is back up, and the way that Alliance is playing is they're getting as much efficiency out of it every time that they can. Yule's completed 2 for Limp.
And level 12. So he's got level 2 Exorcism now, too. He's got Faded Brooch. They might actually look to perhaps smoke and make a play soon here to wrap around onto the tower. Now that they know Kisses are still down, they do have a bit of a window. Nico Baby's about to have Diffusal Blade. This is coming out so early on. Medusa is also having a pretty decent time based on what ended up happening from earlier, but Nico Baby, he's gonna be ready to fight, and Medusa, she's gonna be able to fight, but she doesn't want to just yet.
That does get spotted out over here by the ward. It's just gonna go and chop it down, though, thanks to that sentry.
Yep, we have both offlaners kind of duking it out in the mid lane. One's got a Vanguard and a hood, one's got a hood. S4, happy when he's able to just chill out and get some time to farm that Blink Dagger after this hood.
That's going to be very important for a lot of these engagements that he gets in and makes those perfect initiations, but some movement coming over here to the mid tower. You can see also Skeeter is nearby.
The Fusel's coming. It's Alliance's time to hit hard onto Tundra right now. And Tundra, let's see how they prepare for it.
Montez completed now for Skeeter as well.
A good job of continuously stalling this tower, keeping it alive as long as possible. Another D-ward.
Tower is under attack.
I don't think they want to go and engage on this, though. Not without... I mean, they're making the spaces. In the bottom lane, they pounce, they get the leash up here, and that's just a dead Fata. Shadow Dance does get used... Nico Baby while this is going on, but
well worth
nice
it.
pick off. This tower is sitting very low, and look at the way Alliance is posturing here. They're buying so much time.
Look at Nico Baby too. He's a killer. He's snaking.
Going after snaking. Oh my goodness, the pounce is up to the high ground though. Nico Baby will respect that. Stampede coming out though. He's gonna start building up those essence stacks over here on 33. The slow coming out from FNG. They go and they use the Ravage. So they jump back around the Mortimer Kisses coming out. Should be able to connect over to FNG. Not gonna be able to stay alive. Hop forward here from the little Slark, but did he go perhaps too far? Yes, he did. Snaky will find the revenge kill.
They tried to make the move onto the Medusa as Nico Baby was making the swoop around with all that information, but Stone Gaze got popped. That movement speed, the increased movement speed you do get, plus Manta, he's speedy. Skeeter actually just runs away from them, even though they're stampeded trying to get on him. And yeah, Nico Baby maybe getting a little bit too aggressive. Tower will go down, but he pays with his life.
9 is going to get just pulled right into the remnant here. And the cookie hop forward, a little bit off the mark though, perhaps not expecting it from Monskin. He's going to survive this. The double damage rune over here on Limp. They see Fata S4 getting his position, does have that Blink Dagger. Looking for the opening here, does get taunted in by the remnant. Looks like maybe they'll have to settle themselves for Fata, unless he can break some ankles here. Can he do it? Now there's the stomp, the double edge, and a couple of clicks over here. S4 will collect a kill.
I'm still quite impressed with the way that Tundra is handling the situations when they have this Medusa. They're keeping calm. They're not panicking. They're not just going crazy around these tower defenses. They don't mind ravaging in those type of situations because of how slow the pace of the game is. Yeah, some really good stuff. Even though Alliance hit a very big timing there, they're able to keep themselves alive for now. Alliance on the hunt though with the blink, still looking for these plays, looking to utilize this exorcism.
Radiant are scanning.
A little bit of the invasion here going on into the triangle. Snaking is showing up though for the rune. Immediately the stomp forward here coming out from S4. Double edge. Remnant will draw the Death Prophet back, but of course S4, he's just gonna chop him into pieces.
Beats of your heart beat no more.
Time while Ravage is down. Unable to really make many plays to counteract Alliance's aggression right now. The line is drawn. They're looking to swoop across the map, trying to find it to get on top of this Medusa for now. Yeah, Limp unable to find any good utilizations of these last few exorcism in some time. He's just been holding it for the last 6+ minutes or so.
Well, I think that other engagement over in the middle lane when Nico Baby fell, after the Ravage was used, it was a little bit, he was excited, right? He got the diffuser, and the timings are good right now for the side of Alliance, but they need to find the favorable engagement, and they need to be together. You can't have them that far apart because you just don't have that mobility. Have a little bit more now, obviously, with the centaur picking up the blink, but smokes get used here on the side of Tundra. They're looking for a fight.
Yeah, Ravage is going to be back up in 3. They've got everything.
Radiant's top tower
Flares
is
out.
under attack.
They're under vision, but I do believe they scouted that with the sentry.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Look at how
So
tight they're playing too, and they're just trying to make that room for Medusa.
Radiant's
Who's
top tower
top of the net worth now. Peter has completely caught up after a bit of a rough start. He's got 3 components of the Aghanims in a second, and he's got Grove Bow. Important to point out too. Really good item here for him to keep the distance.
Keeping calm and carrying on here over on the side of Tundra. They know that Skeeter's got to be a big boy when he shows up, so there's no point in panicking and just trying to hold everything steady right now.
Yeah, he's got the talent now too, that 15 talent. Alliance still smoked up behind this Centaur. 33 does get a deny because of it. That's Nico Baby. Yeah, he sees that there's a ward there, pings it out instantly. Very likely to get de-warded.
The smoke broke too when he went over there. Spata, just good positioning here. Hook shot in over here onto the Wyvern. He's a little bit too far forward where the rest of his team is able to step forward here from 9 over into the mid. Roshan is going to get the kill on FNG. Oh, Spata does fall. 9 needing to be careful here. Does give himself a nice regen, but Limp chasing him.
If they can reset, that's an exorcism forced. Tundra can just reset away from Limp now, and that's a pretty good trade for them. Although they didn't get the kill, they at least forced that exorcism. Stupid Roshan taking their kill. Nice commit, and this time it's a perfect grab again. Initiation is going to be really crucial this game, especially from Fada. If Alliance gets the jump, it's going to be really scary, but if Fada's ever able to get into that backline onto the Wyvern, it's exactly what he needs to do, even if he gives his life for it.
Hey, Forced Exorcism is a great thing for Tundra here. Nothing taken with that.
Now they can actually maybe do an aggressive posture themselves for the first time in this game, rather than being all these defensive moves. That big one, in the mid tower very confidently. Look at this. This fire's going for it.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
That's NG. Smack. Yeah, Roshan's a hater.
I mean, he gets murdered all the time. It's only fair that he gets murdered every once in a while.
Definitely.
You know?
Alright, so Skeeter, he's got the Ags. Excellent timing for him, really, after that whole entire aggressive move that came out, Tundra, with some really clean rotations. It's a quiet game. It's a slow one compared to what we've been seeing lately. It's been 13 kills in 21. I feel like I had like 40 kill games recently in 20 minutes. But...
I feel like this is an Eastern European game right now, the way that they're playing so methodically. But hey, it's paying off for Tundra. You know, it's just, you know, they had great timings, but they can't find the angle. So look at the spots on leading the charge. Nope, gonna miss the hook shot here. Don't know if you still want to go in on this. In fact, look at this. They just back off. They're like, okay, we needed to stun lock this Slark. We don't have it now. Just back off.
No, they need absolutely every tool in this game. They're really trying to take advantage of the fact that Exorcism was still down. Exorcism up in 30 Alliance. They're looking for the swing. They see Skeeter.
Yeah, they're going. I believe one of the split shots connected over into the Slark there, too. Dota. The sentry up over here. Sentry on sentry, actually. Surprised about that. They didn't see it. They're going to wrap around the side.
Oh, okay. S4 actually goes for Crimson. I like it quite a lot versus that Medusa, actually. A lot of times I would prefer the Halberd, but I think this is also a good pickup because it's fitting around their timings. They do want to look really aggressive around like double BKBs when Limp and Nico Baby have it. They still can play really well versus Ravage in particular when they do have those magic immunities. As FNG again.
Rolls gets lined up. He was going for that D ward. Finishes to go grab and use that Winter's Curse. Fly away. The step down here from 9 chasing FNG this time. Roche is not going to help him. Hook shot over on the back lines over here. It's a Slark, but do they have enough to lock it down the entire time as the Exorcism is coming out? And they're still just dancing around trying to find this opening. They'll taunt over here onto Limp.
Tundra, again, forcing the Exorcism and getting away. And holding onto the Ravage themselves. Very nice for him.
Very disciplined.
Yeah, very, very disciplined. 9 also, that was a very nice clutch usage of the Illusion Rune. He got Death Prophet Silence, didn't want to have to use himself in case there was a stun follow-up. Illusions, removed the Silence, able to just jump down quickly to get away from that high ground.
I think he used the Yules earlier, too, to set up over on the...
I think you might be right, yeah. So, just did have the Illusion Rune to bail him out, as they are getting, still continuous good farm on Skeeter. Alliance, a couple wasted Exorcisms, but they're still farming good timings. You know, BKB is finished on Slark. BKB is going to be done on Limp, and that does make their fight a lot easier to approach versus Snapfire, Tidehunter, and Point Spirit.
Well, looks like they're going to try to make a play here on Fata. Playing forward here. Houndskin is here as well. They'll get the lift off, just toss them right back down. Again, they don't quite have enough damage to burst them out as he's able to push out away. We're just going to tank up this creep with... He seems not happy that he was allowed to do that, but I'll drag the creeps off the tower here.
That's a 5-position clock, by the way, everybody.
Tanky boy, and look at this.
They're actually going to go in the Roche Pit with the Gush, with the Shredder, with the Medallion. They're going to take this away from Alliance here.
Alliance doesn't even seem aware that's happening.
This is a real heads-up move, Skeeter. Top of net worth now in Ages 2. Oh, baby. Alliance might be getting some good item timings, but Tundra with some really good map movements right now.
Nico Baby showing here in the bottom lane.
This will hasten.
Rack it on.
Yeah, look, it's 1465 HP. Such a tanky clockwork. You see that with the Centaur and Rubik movement, unable to do anything to him.
Instant D-ward as well. And Tundra is starting to just start hitting their timings here. 9 will walk it into Limp. Immediately following up with his own Yules. Throwing down the Revenant, and there's the BKB that Limp just purchased. He doesn't want to use that defensively, but doesn't know how many other heroes are sitting behind him.
Tundra's making some very good macro plays. Just the movement around the map, sticking together, forcing Alliance to do these bad exorcisms and just unfortunate little misplays. Yeah, it's definitely huge. Keeping this network lead low and keeping this Medusa in an excellent position, almost as Scotty. Skeeter's just been left alone. 2-0-3.
He's been allowed to hit creeps, and that's what Medusa likes to do. And been invading over here in the enemy triangle. My question is, how do they?
A bubble from the void.
All right. Nobody saw that. It's fine.
He probably just gets lifted and tossed out of the cog.
Yeah, probably.
Or something, but Maybe could have found himself a little bit of kill with the +1. Let's see it again. He just whips.
Just a little bit off to the side.
Yeah, that happens to all of us.
Where was the taunt, though? That's the question. You know, you're Rubik. You should be taunting that.
Give him an excellent idea.
The question now is, how does Alliance approach these fights? Because this Medusa is starting to get bigger and scarier. Is that the Scotty coming out right now?
I think it is, yeah.
Oh my God.
He's massive. Like, he's starting to outscale the Slark too hard. Like, if he gets the next timing, then Slark is going to be a full item behind, and he's not going to be able to get that MKB to be able to deal with all that evasion. This is just really nice moves. Alliance, I feel like for them, they still have to just be a little careful, maybe wait for Aegis, but they can still look to take a fight if Tundra makes a misplay. But Tundra's just not making misplays right now. They're not getting out of position, not feeding kills to the Slark, not feeding essence shifts for those long duration fights at all. Let's see if they can find anything. Do they have any information on the map right now? Quite limited.
And they see Skeeter over here. Nico Baby. Smoke breaks.
Does.
Gonna try to make the moves here. They're snaking and Fonta nearby. The Cogs pushing back immediately. Just having it bounce away. It's getting kited quite a bit.
There's a blink now on the Tidehunter and an Aghanims on the Void Spirit. Tundra, really, now they're going to smoke because they still have Aegis. Alliance, they got to be a little cautious here.
They smoke underneath that ward. Did that catch that?
I think it just caught the edge of it. It was very close.
The way that they're moving, though, it implies... I see Skeeter on the wave here. Fonta. Hookshot does come in. The immediate follow-up here from S4, though. They've got the BKB. They should be able to go and take down the platform. Immediately, the Stampede running into the back end here as they're just trying to get away from Skeeter. They do have the Exorcism up. Over on the side, Nico Baby clicking down over on Snake King, and they do get the Stone Gaze off. We'll buy a bit more time over here. The Pounce again coming out here from the Slark. He's desperate to get a kill, but they're so tanky right now. He needs to start stacking up those ships. Cookie hop forward again. They do manage to take down Snake King, but Skeeter just on the back lines, allowed to hit everything as there will be a buyback now coming out from Snake King.
Nico Baby's under vision here. He can't actually heal up. I don't know that ward's there.
That's a dead FNG.
It is. Snake King buyback. The rest of the team kind of resets, but this ward doing work. Nico Baby's he was trying to reset and heal from the fight, but that ward spotting him. He can't actually heal from his Shadow Dance. He's trying to poke 33 as much as possible, burn that man out so he won't be able to ravage, but Tundra continue to be so patient, holding their ultimates, playing around Skeeter very nicely. There's some very good team play coming out for them. That's 9. Trying to make a move.
A little bit.
You know the BKB is down, so
the Sapphire Kisses, though. On top of that, are they going to be able to burn them out? They go and burn the Ravage as well. They want this kill on Nico Baby. They want to get rid of the Slark, and they'll get the kill.
And Tundra, these are just... Honestly, this is such good play with them just playing around Alliance's timings, and they're just in such a good spot now with this Medusa farm. Even though the Slark, Nico Baby, absolute free farm, he hasn't been able to find the game that he absolutely wants to. He hasn't been able to get into these backlines, hasn't been able to force any bad ults. Tundra, so patient.
Bottom lane S4 getting dragged into the Remnant. 33's here, but they don't have anything, I believe, left in the tank to go and cancel out that TP. So S4 is going to be able to just teleport on out. But yeah, like you said, with the Slark here, it's definitely becoming very difficult. He has these timings, but Tundra, they had his number, it felt, the entire time to say, okay, Slark's got this. This is how we need to play, guys.
Yep. It's just they played together, and also it's just the way they danced around Limp, right? How many exorcisms now in a row where he's popped it, and he's had to they've all just ran away from him.
Yeah.
Even though they have sent for the Stampede to keep them on top of them and all that, and the Rubik to be able to control people, they haven't been able to keep people inside of that exorcism. Limp, although he had that one effective one in the early game, besides that, it's just been impossible for him. Tundra just dancing.
Were they hoping, you think, to get something like a Nico Baby Faceless Void, do you suppose, with that Death Prophet? It was a very early Death Prophet, too. Both of us were a little bit surprised when we looked at the draft.
They're confident. Limp does really like the hero, so I think that's fine. And I think this lot, they just been dancing. I think Tundra's just playing a really good game around the Alliance. They do have a good draft to be able to deal with the Medusa, but, I mean, Tundra's just, they're playing so well evading these fights, and now, Skeeter, as you said, he's getting a full item ahead, and he's got a Solar Crest. I don't think they have a Solar Crest on the side of Alliance at all, so Nico Baby's not going to have that amp up. And how's he going to be able to hit through all this evasion when it does come online?
And the negative armor that can be applied to him. In fact, look at this. 33 breaking the smoke.
Boom, there he goes.
No Ravage just yet.
Nico thinking about jumping in here. It's just they can't find these favorable engagements.
No.
Look at Fata is just like, I'm gonna try to get this. Immediately the lift up, toss back, but Skeeter's here. They've got a decent amount of damage to stop Fata coming out from his next finish. They'll be able to take down Fata. They'll focus down over here on Snake King. The exorcism does get popped. Snake King is gonna get chipped away here by Nico Baby, but they have to turn away here from this Medusa.
They're avoiding the Exorcism again. Look at this.
They just walk away.
Exorcism gets popped. 9 just astral steps twice to the top lane. They lose the 2 supports, but it's another Exorcism used that you can't actually get any core kill while Ravage is down. So that's the play where Alliance is trying to hit hard because Ravage is down. Now Ravage is back up. So Tundra, they'll probably respawn and look to fight again with that Exorcism being down. Again, just, yeah,
nice
great understanding and great ways to just dance around it. I'm loving it. Very close game we've got in our hands here. And Butterfly will soon be the timing there for Skeeter. So evasion talent plus Butterfly.
Fuels and the Force though. S4 now. He's a big tanky boy in front, but I'm not sure they want to take this fight. They do have that Ravage available. Death Prophet's going to be lined up here with the Remnant. They're just going to try to run away. The BKB actually coming out from Limp. He's just too afraid. He doesn't want to stay here anymore. As now FNG, he's been silenced. He does have the Arctic Bird. He's going to try to break some ankles here, break some trees as well. As he turns around, uses the Winter's Curse. He's just going to try to teleport out here. Is he going to be able to do it? Yes.
Limp has to pop a defensive BKB because Fada, again, the killer, he gets on top of the Wyvern. Every single time this Clockwork is getting into the back line perfectly. And yeah, now the evasion is finished up for Medusa. Slark, he's going for Ice. He's going for Scotty because it's so effective versus these range heroes, but how's he going to even hit the Medusa at this point? Might have to just switch up, honestly. I think he may, as soon as he sees Butterfly, I think he might just have to queue up MKB and go for it because he's never going to be able to deal with that Medusa at this point. He's going to be able to hurt everyone else, but Medusa is the true problem that's starting to build up for Tundra.
I mean, she's the one who just wants to sit smack dab in every fight, right? And start split-shotting everything. And I mean, you can't afford to ignore her.
No.
But I don't think you have much of a choice, though, either, with what they've got right now.
Yeah, he's committing. So he commits for the Scotty.
Okay.
So it's going to be, it has to be long thrown-out fights for the side of Alliance to have a chance in it. Skeeter, I mean, he just knows he's a boss. Even with like Solar Crested up, 38 armor with these double evasions. As you said, Nico Baby doesn't have a Solar Crest behind him. He's got a medallion now,
They've got a medallion over
they need the Solar Crest though to give him that buff up for the attack speed for himself. So he's getting close to it. FNG, he's probably going to start taking a bit more farm because they know how far behind Nico Baby truly is right now. It only says that 1k, but it's actually quite a big lead right now for Tundra because of how big this Medusa is and how hard the matchup can now start getting.
That's all the timings, right?
Yes.
You know, the fact that, yes, you know, it's fairly close, but one hero does a lot more when they have all that farm.
Absolutely. I mean, Skeeter's just
look at the way they're playing
so
around
well
her
enabled.
too.
Yeah,
they're playing around this Medusa so perfectly. Fata always in position here to break smokes, being able to kind of poke away. Does have, you know, the insurance policy of being able, if they want to engage, they can. He can go in with a hook shot, or he can just disengage, and then nothing is lost.
9-11. Honestly, one of the slowest games I feel like I've casted here.
Each team just playing super carefully and trying to get the perfect advantage. Of course, Tundra, they know they've got the time.
They do. They have such a great scaling lineup with this Medusa, and they also have like crazy potentials of later on where Tidehunter can get like Aghanim's from minus armor and all that. They have a really good draft versus this Alliance one that will start falling off. You know, Death Prophet is strong, but can't do it on her own when Slark is just getting kited so much.
They use the Stampede because they want Fata. Stomp does connect, but immediately the teleports are out. Fata with the hook shot buys just a little bit more time. He will fall, but over on the back lines, they're trying to just erase Casket. They do manage to find the BKB popped here from Nico Baby as they use the Stone Gaze. He's got to just try to swim away. Goes even using that Shadow Dance here. The silence coming out. They get that switch burst off. They should be able to go and just burst down 9. Nice play here from FNGs. He's going to try to just teleport out here. Should be able to, no problem. Good positioning.
That was huge. Beautiful one from that Roche Pit to catch them a bit off guard there. That's Nine's first slip up in the game, and FNG finally able to get a setup where he's able to get a good curse, and he gets the kill, which means Solar Crest. Yay! So now we got our Slark. Bit more enabled, still a bit behind as we see he's queuing up MKB. Needs it. Luckily, we did see the Slark. He got a quiver. So he does at least have that true strike hit to at least pierce through that evasion a little bit on. But time and time again in Alliance, they keep finding Fada, which is not the target they want.
No.
Fada's doing an excellent job of soaking that pressure.
And Fada's absolutely fine with taking that pressure.
Sure is. A Clockwork. It's a dream. It's your job.
I thought you were going to do something clever with Fata and 5 and Clockwork there.
I'm not Lacoste. I can't think of these puns in the moment.
I'm sure Lacoste will message you one later when he watches this.
He'll think of something.
MKB is completed for the Medusa.
So far ahead.
Butterfly's got them under everything. Oh my goodness.
She's just full slotted already at this point. It's only 35 minutes in. 500 CS on Skeeter.
This Nico baby, he's just... Alright, the stop coming out from S4. Can they do this, though, is the question. They do have the exorcism this time around. They've got the silence. Can they burst him away, though? It's not looking good enough as the Stampede does indeed come out. They're going to chase after Skeeter, but they've got the stone. He's about to falling on the back lines. Over here as well, Nico baby is just being healed up.
They got to disengage on the side of Tundra. Skeeter's out of mana. He didn't even have a single, not even one Mystic Snake. They burned out the whole mana pool. Is there a Rosh up? There is. And they have the exorcism going. This is big. Skeeter's not ready to fight. He's completely out of mana. They can't. I don't think they can go into this.
I mean, they could try to go in there with a Ravage, but it's suspect.
No, that's how you get your Medusa killed. She has literal 0 mana. They have to just give this up now.
Yeah, look at them. They're turning away. The silences get tossed out by Look, just in case, you know, they decide to do anything a little cheeky there. But also get the depth shroud picked up here for Slark with that shard.
Very nice. One of the better shards on these carries that we've seen, at least to protect your teammates. As a big hit alliance. This time they do get not an effective exorcism for kills, but an effective exorcism to force the Medusa away and then get a pro shot. That's nice.
They're able to take some sort of objective this time around. Otherwise, you know, before poor Limp, he'll ult, and they just run away and they get absolutely nothing. At least they can get the Roche.
Yeah, and we are seeing the itemization to deal with Medusa, of course, coming into play. Halberd is finished on the Centaur, one of the most effective items versus that ranged carry, of course. She always just sits there. That's going to be really nice. And yeah, Linko baby, now he has freedom. He has protection to be able to finish up that MKB likely on time because of Aegis.
How much does this change the game, though?
Quite a bit, actually. They're starting to get a lot of farm on 3 cores, and Nico baby will eventually be able to stick onto the Medusa. And these BKBs, they've been forced to pop them quite a lot of times. It's down to 6 seconds, but they're always super effective versus Tidehunter.
Right.
I think this will give them a really good window to look for the next fights. As there's also an arcane rune. Once they get these type of map control, you even get rune control too. Yeah. It does benefit, you know, these Slarks and Death Prophets quite a lot.
And it has been a vision battle between these three teams. The amount of wards that have been picked up, dewarded, all of that.
It's a super close game because all about these initiations and just disengaging versus certain spells and everything from both sides. It's been quite beautiful. Timeless Relic picked up. Very nice pickup for
Illusionist Cape too.
Yeah, for our Void Spirit in particular. And yeah, Illusionist Cape, if Skeeter does want that one, he can swap it in between that and the Growth Bow a little bit.
Is under attack.
Not options.
Does indeed. That's a good one to constantly push the lane in.
They take the bottom tower during all of this here.
And now Nico baby, he's got his MKB, so now he can actually stand toe-to-toe versus this Medusa like he couldn't before. It's a very slow-paced game. Both teams are kind of playing this like chess kind of style of just waiting for the other to make a little slip-up that will just cost them the game. It feels like one fight is going to be the entire like decision maker of what happens in this game.
It's quite possible that it could be too. Alright, Nico baby though is gonna be putting some pressure down here on the tower. He's got that solar crest from FNG to keep him nice and healthy here. But they back off for now. Make their rotation here over towards that triangle area.
They're still so close.
Peter just gonna walk on by.
Flicker.
They go for
They don't have all their tier 4 items yet on the side of Alliance. I believe Tundra did find all of theirs already.
Pika. Immediately going to turn back around. He is stoned.
Ow.
Gonna have to flip-flop out here. Again, the rest of the team smoked up behind him except for Limp.
He knows he's under ward vision, not healing up to full. He's got the salve going to protect himself, though, to keep him full.
He's going back in again. Immediately, though, they just blow him up.
Very nice.
Limp over here on the back lines. I think he just tried to disengage. I don't know if they'll be able to. Okay, the BKB comes out from Nico Babies. He's just focusing down over here onto this Medusa.
He's just getting kited. His whole BKB is down. He's scared to fight now.
They grab S4. And again, look at this out from Skeeter. It's forced to go and pop the cheese over the back line, so the Ravage does get used, but they've already used the BKB, so they get the stun off. There's a follow-up here. Yule's coming out again.
He's got him stolen Ravage on Hanskin right now.
Do they go back in? That was the question here. S4 just trying to get off the damn spot, throwing out the cockspin. There it is. There's the Ravage that they stole. So they're right back where they get the kill over on Snake King. And the buyback for S4. He's ticking down. There's too much damage. He's next to fall. As Nico Baby is hunting. He's dragged by Skeeter. We'll focus over here onto 9, but he needs to get his hands on it. Place. Skeeter still looking very healthy here. FNG trying to help, has that Arctic Burn. They have to slice up this remnant, and they're not going to be able to. His Limp's X does end up just ending at this point. They just aren't able to take down Skeeter here. All right, the Winter's Curse holding him in place for a little bit, and Nico sitting so very low during all this. He needs to back off. He needs to get that health back up again.
But he's got stacks. He's got Essence stacks. He's looking for more blood.
Top forward, Ghost Scepter here from Snake King. Nico easy gone a little bit too far, though. Does have that Shadow Dance, the taunt, the silence. Turning back around. heal coming out now from FNG, trying to buy just a bit more time. Has the rest of the team behind, has the BKB back up as well.
God, the fight lasts so long. The BKB does come back off cooldown. He's able to disengage.
Oh, he grabs up Nico, baby. They just blow up Hotskin and Nico, baby. All right, FNG, he's trying. He's done everything he can to try to save the boss, but he's not going to be able to. As he gets used up into the air, Nico, baby, over here on the side might be able to get a little snaky, but he has a ghost shot. He's TPing out. They don't have vision. They don't have any way to stun him out. Nico, baby.
Oh my
he
God.
is an escape artist. You know, we hear a Slark, you know, escaping Dark Reef prison, but this time around, this is very impressive.
Oh, I'm so stressed out for Nico, baby, actually, in this game. It's like there's so many things that are tripping him up. Sure, he's got Dark Pack to be able to remove stuff and all that, but there is just so many different forms of little disables that are tripping him up. Mystic Snake, the silence coming out from the Void, Scatter Blast knockback with snaking with the Shard. It's not an easy game for the Slark to stick on these targets, and Alliance, even though they hit hard with the way that they've been pushing forward, Tundra still show that they can fight back even though they don't have the Ravage during all this situation, and they're fighting into the Slark, who has all these Essence Shift stacks.
God, look at that hook shot. I thought for sure,
Fada.
oh my God, Fada.
He's on fire this game. Even though he's like 0-9 or 0-10, he's on fire this game.
He's doing his job.
Yep.
And he's doing it nicely.
He has more than half the deaths for his team, but he's doing excellent so far. Nico, baby.
Someone's got to take those ganks, man.
Yeah, lucky to survive, it does feel like there.
33's just trying to break all those trees. He's like, where is he?
He looks so calm, though.
Cool
Oh my God, I'm more stressed than he is. That's great.
Both of us are watching this game, man. It's just, it is so tight here.
It is. Any little slip-ups can just cost it, as Medusa getting to some crazy points in net worth in the game. I think we might start seeing some rapiers at some point soon. Well, we see 9. He's going for all damage. He's seeing this Slark keeps getting away, very low HP. He's going Daggins. He's also got that Timeless Relic, as we said before. He's got the Spell Lamp talent too on this Void Spirit. Yeah, it's going to be quite effective.
I mean, FNG has come in clutch with these cold embraces. He's even got the Holy Locket too. Like, he's really making sure that he is enabling Nico Baby to stay alive until, you know, the BKB is up, until he's got his Shadow Dance up. Like, just very nice play coming out from this Wyvern.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how much it actually does heal, especially with that Holy Locket. Seeing it a couple times now.
I always get so nervous because I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna nuke him down. He's stuck in the face. Oh God.
I'm gonna get him killed. Oh no. As now, Daedalus now for Skeeter. So he was already hitting hard. He is getting to the point of just absolute maximum items. Yeah, this is still a very scary point here for Alliance. So we said it's one little slip up on these fights and it can just cost everything. Limp finds himself Spell Prism and another Arcane Rune, so he's going to be strong in the next fight.
I just feel like they're dancing circles around Limp.
They are. They're just doing such a good job of making sure that they can do that. It's like these long duration team fights are what Alliance needs, but Tundra's doing such a good job of dancing around these long fights.
Looking at that shard as the next item here for the Limp, because the Spirit Siphons have been working out for him at the very least. He's able to get those off. And Alliance is just playing tight here over in the jungle. You can see Tundra doing a little bit of invasion. They do have the ward up as well, so they can keep tabs.
Skeeter is leading the charge. So strong. Every single one of these snakes are just like full mana restoring him. As he also, of course, you know, we've been pointing out too much, but he has a shard, so all these Rubik spells will be able to give him extra mana if he does get cast on. The Rat. Nico Baby. He wants to build up stacks. He wants a long fight. He wants to find the Tide Hunter in particular and start getting those stacks.
Well, he's found him, but now they have to go up into the high ground here.
Yeah, it's a bit risky.
They don't have the vision.
No, they got to take a different approach. FNG will put a ward down for it.
Ooh, immediately 9, the staff. Nope. Follow up with a good stomp here. Can they initiate? Can they get this down? Limp using that action to big step. Gets the Ravage on top of it. All this magic damage. They can't go and they can't get those BKBs up for anything here. Buybacks coming out now from the side of Alliance as Limp. He's got his own BKB up, but they've got so much damage. They should be able to just burst him down. He's over here. Fata blocking him off over on the side. FNG trying to stay alive. It's a triple kill now for Snake King. And they should be able to clean up here on FNG. It's going to take a little while because he does have all that healing, but the Remnant, no. FNG breaking some ankles. Do they have anything to cancel out this tape? No.
They do not. But my God, the positioning from Tundra just so advantageous. A perfect Ravage. And as we said, there's so many little things that are tripping up Nico Baby. He gets hit by a snake. He gets stoned for a second. Bam, Ravage comes out, kisses fly over. They just wipe them out, and he's forced to buy back, trying to jump back into the fight. Now they're in such a dangerous position on the side of Alliance. DD Slark, but no buyback on him or the Centaur.
You have to play so carefully now. I don't think you can take any sort of engagements if you're Alliance.
No.
Maybe if one kind of wanders across your path, but Tundra, they're playing together so well. Look at that. Nice initiation with the stomp, but...
Look at the snake. It just stones him, and then wha-bam! The Ravage and the silence, everything comes in perfectly from Tundra. Just beautiful execution as they've done for the most part of this game, it's just very disciplined and very good coordination. Nico Baby, he's deep.
He's got the BKB though. He should be able to go and just get out. Does have his TP off cooldown. He just needs to get some distance first. And look at this S4 waiting for him. Says, "Don't worry, boss. I gotcha."
Trying to take advantage of DD, but almost does get punished for it.
He's so careful though in this game, Fug. One slip up, especially when you've already used your buyback, could be so costly.
I've been wondering what he does actually to get into the back. Like, it's just time and time again that they're not able to just get on top of these heroes of Tundra. Tundra's just having such good positioning, perfect initiations time and time again, and now Medusa, it's a whole new timing with all these modifiers, with all these different items, and he's gonna have Satanic done too with all the modifiers as well. Like, how do you kill Skeeter? Unless he's completely isolated, it's starting to get to the points of just unkillable levels.
He's 3-0-9,
He is.
Bob. No one has managed to slay this Medusa yet. He is truly a powerful warrior.
They're doing such a good job here.
Pressure gonna go over here to 3 and
Dire's middle
moves are
tower
on.
is under
I
attack.
don't know, Alliance. How do you slow this down?
It has to just be. It has to be some
under
super long team fight. Nico Baby needs. I actually feel like he needs like 40 stacks in the fight for him to be able to somehow get into this Medusa, somehow get this kill. Now into Aegis, that's a whole nother difference of problems. FNG goes for a deep ward, but he's spotted.
Yeah, this is not looking great for our friend here. It does force a couple people home at the very least. But, yeah, that Dagon level 2. Pew!
And now level 3. It does. Oof, 870 with all the spell amp that he's got right now.
Yeah, and that Cold Embrace is not going to save you when you got a Dagon level 3 pointed at your face.
No, and Slark's BKB, you know, everyone's BKB is so low. This there, I mean, it's always going to be relevant in the fights, how much he's able to actually do with it. Nico Baby, he's got an AC now to protect himself. I mean, it's also like, it's so many things that are disrupting, as you said, and just so much damage.
Look at Skeeter. He has absolutely no fear here. He's just kind of pretty much by himself. He's got one person to back him up, and that's it. Nico gonna try to get a couple of these hits off.
He has to stack up as much as possible.
Can they immediately the follow-up here? They have to be careful with that silence. He's trying to get the stacks.
Yep.
He's trying, but it's so risky for him to walk outside of the space.
Rock it on.
Look at this. I mean, with the split shot modifiers now, it's such a hard game to go on Skeeter.
Another stomp here. Hook shot coming in from Fata.
So quick.
Quickie hop forward here. Over immediately. They do get the silence off. Or are they going to be able to take down S4? Yes, he's going to fall.
Oh god, yeah. Skeeter
No buyback
so
on
hard.
him.
100 seconds, no S4. I don't think they can defend the racks.
I don't think you have any way of getting into this now.
No, I think Tundra can even. I think they can even swing for the top one. They've got double Ravage at the ready. They've got everything for Skeeter.
He's got the leveler online. Look at this damage. Oh my god.
Vlad, Solar Crest, leveler, living the dream.
He's literally been allowed to do whatever he wants this game.
Yep.
Skeeter has had such a free game.
On to the next. Look at all the buffs. Super Ray, Nico Baby starts poking.
He's gonna immediately back off them because look at this damage! Immediately
Oh my God.
stepping forward. That hook shot was so close.
Yeah, that's a very likely kill if he does connect. At 33 will blink Ravage immediately if it does connect there. As he knows there's no buyback. This is the only life here for our Slark.
Another poke. It just tickles
top tower
the entire time trying to get those stack ups, but it just...
Yeah, they're losing. I mean, they can't defend without the Centaur. It's impossible.
That's a slow bleed.
It is. I know. A full another item, as we said, Skeeter. 8,000 gold in the bank. 700. That's one of the highest CS I've seen in 49 minutes. Not versus a Broodmother.
Right. That Pango was something else that game. You get the axe completed now for Rubik. So they've got another item at least to go into this next fight, but it is an uphill battle here for Alliance.
No, it doesn't feel like it's going to be the difference maker at all. I think it would get rapier territory for sure for Nico Baby, but even then, it's he doesn't. Yeah, he needs like these crazy long outdrawn fights, but Tundra, they're just not giving them the chances.
And I mean, we talked about the fact that they have to get all of their stuns just perfectly set up, right, to hold down the Slark. But now it just feels like, Fata has been so on point with all these hook shots, and then you've got, you know, the Snake doing the stone on everybody as well. You've got Stone Gaze. You've got so many things that just make it so hard for the Slark to even go forward.
And now another thing too. Yeah, Satanic on the Medusa and level 25 Void Spirit. So another stun that's like targeted, ground targeted. That Slark has got to be tripped up by. There's just so many things for poor Nico Baby to deal with in this one. As Tundra, they're just going for the last Rex. Why not? Everyone.
Might as well. You're just getting more powerful by the moment.
Yep.
And look at Skeeter. He's got all the buffs on him.
Void infused.
It just stands his ground.
They're gonna have to just make some crazy go. Aegis is gone in 50 seconds, but they don't have that time.
I don't think so, especially when you have 9 just immediately stepping in. S4 looking for the stop. They get the Witcher's Curse off.
Okay, building up stacks.
All right. Should be able to. Yep, that's gonna be the Aegis going down. Oh no.
He gets the yield and the cheese off.
There's the Ravage over on the back lines of the median. There's a second Ravage coming out now from 33. They'll take down FNG. Limp has got that BKB going, but it doesn't really seem to matter as Rubik does manage to steal the Ravage, but they just don't have the follow-up damage here.
Nico Baby zoned out of the fights. Now he's starting to get in, but he's zoned instantly.
They've got a bit deep here over on the side of Tundra, but they're doing so much damage. Are they going to be able to take down the Slark? Again, the heal coming out from FNG should buy a little bit more time. FNG getting chased out. They're over on the back lines. The Medusa gets tossed up into the air. Skeeter's still alive, still healthy, as he is just chasing around, trying to find his target. He wants the Slark, and again, the stone coming out. They do manage to take down 9 during all of this. Nice silence again coming out from Left 33. He's sitting a bit low. He's going to fall, but Nico Snaking is here. The 5X are coming out in mass now from Tundra. They realize that they're very, very strong right now. There is no Nico Baby to have to deal with.
No, Skeeter is a literal turret on the high ground. Untouchable here. They get him the once with the Aegis, but definitely not this second time. As no Slark, no damage, no exorcism either. As Limp did use it right before. He did die before, and that's the final set. That's the Magnus.
I don't know how they get them off of these buildings.
No, they can't. I mean, now it's just, there's no Slark. It's over.
9 setting up over here onto S4, and he's a tanky boy, but look how much damage over on the back lines too. Fata is trying to zone people away. S4 even using the stampede, he cannot run. Fata getting drawn in. That is going to be a dead little clockwork, but I think the damage is done at this point, Fog, as Limp is getting shredded by all these snowballs. Buyback coming out from Nico Baby here. He's not happy about this, but the damage is just too immense. It's too much. He just can't deal with this. 33 eyes on the prize over here. He's just going to keep hitting the buildings to try right back. The GG gets called. Tundra and a beautiful just show of movement and play. They're able to take this first game.
And just a clear understanding of what they need to do in the game. Avoiding some of these fights early, dancing around exorcism for what seemed like 30 minutes in it, building up Skeeter to this unkillable, amazing force, and what a play, honestly. They set up the game so nicely for themselves. Even though Alliance, they hit such good timings, they actually couldn't take advantage of it. These little deaths, the Slark dying early on, they're costly. They did lose a bit of timings there in Tundra. They keep their composure, keep their cool. And this Skeeter Medusa carries super hard. And Fata, even though he has 11 deaths, he has half the death of his team, he did so much work as this clockwork.
Fata was just on point with all of these initiations. They just looked so good, and it allowed 33 to go and hold on to that Ravage, not have to burn it super early. And again, like you said,
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Alliances turn to ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Alliances turn to ban. Dire team pick.
Game 2 coming your way here between Tundra and Alliance. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel. And Game 1 was taken by Tundra. Yes, that's right. A little bit of an upset, but they looked great doing it. And we're going to find out if they can, for the first time ever, 2-0 an opponent here in the league. Also will be the first time that Alliance loses in a 2-game series, but I'm sure that Alliance will have something to say about that. We're going to draft Alliance's Radiant side this time around, Dire side for Tundra. I'm here with BSJ and Cap. And anything that we learned that is already implemented? No.
They didn't ban Tidehunter. I really felt like that was going to be the play from Alliance, just because of like I assumed Tidehunter was going to get banned, and then the Enigma was going to be the go-to for Tundra as a response. But it looks like they can open the same way. Meanwhile, Alliance, a Shadow Demon change up as opposed to the Rubik that they had before, which I do agree is the better 4 position right now.
I have one thing to say about that, Cap.
What's that?
What's that? You don't like the Shadow Demon Centaur?
No, I just didn't like the idea in general.
Excuse me?
I'm just kidding, Cap.
Yeah, I know.
I have to try to.
You don't have a mean bone in your body.
You went against me last game. I said Tundra all the way, and you said
you mean you fell into my trap. I
got baited into being tricked into calling the right team. It is what it is, Cap. Tomatoes, tomatoes. As we see, I do like Shadow Demon a lot more. It is just a really strong hero because all of his abilities are not dispellable. We're seeing so many like mantas, BKBs, Lotus Orbs. You know, none of these abilities by him can be saved by that. The disruption, the shadow poison now. Like a lot of his lane counters, like when I'm picking carry in the past, it'd be like PL or Slark or Jug, because you get 2 stacks on me and I'm like, push button and get rid of it. But now it's just so much more powerful in the laning stage. And then it basically says you can't go on anyone but me. You have to go on me because I'll just disrupt the guy that you go on. So it's so annoying to play against. It's like Wyvern, but it all offers a lot more aggressive potential. The burst damage, the purge makes it so you can't pick Yule's-based heroes. You can't pick certain heroes that are based like there's so many carries I just can't pick into Shadow Demon.
In the previous game, we saw Puck being first phase banned by Alliance. This time, Tundra, of course, pick it up now that it's not banned. But I'm a little bit surprised about that because, yes, we have seen Nine's Puck, and it's not bad. He had moments. He's played 6 games on it so far, this DPC League. Only 3 of them were wins. It's not like it's some kind of miraculous end-all be-all for the team.
And it's comfort. If you can pick a core early in the draft, and I guess they've got the ideas of the bans.
It's great versus Centaur to make them stop from running away.
And it jumps Shadow Demon.
Yeah, exactly. I like the fact you cannot allow Shadow Demon to play his game in team fights. He outputs way too much damage. Like, don't let him feel comfortable getting a disruption, soul catcher off, and pumping a bunch of shadow poisons in there. So I think it gives them the kind of team fight that they also like. I think one of the things, I didn't like the clockwork like a ton in that last game, but it works to Tundra's style a lot. Fada played it well, and he was getting some form of initiation feels really important for them. Like it just adds to their overwhelming team fight that they have later on if they have a low risk initiation, right? Something that you can throw out there, potentially go in, like they forced out the exorcism so many times off of that very idea.
I'm a bit surprised Clockwork took this long to come into meta. He doesn't feel that great in general, but he's so good against these Vanguard heroes, the Centaurs, the Axes, not only because he can continuously chase you down and offer a lot of damage from the support role that goes through the physical damage resistance, but they also have super weird cast animations. Like Centaur can't stomp, Axe can't call. It's just super annoying to deal with, and I think they realized last game that 5-position clock made Medusa's life much easier than I think they imagined going into the laning.
Yeah, for sure. They needed like both the hookshot and the cogs allowed the Deuce's game to be so much better. I would also add in that the Deuce Aghanim Scepter is such a big boon to her because it adds this significant timing that you have. Your team fight potential is like really high once you have the Aghanim's second item, as opposed to your previous timing, which is more based around like almost Divine Rapier type, like peak in power, you better end the game now. Now it feels like a more gradual slope upwards where you get stronger and stronger.
Speaking of Divine Rapier heroes, Medusa is still in the pool. Is actually not one of the heroes that got banned this time around.
Shadow Demon Centaur, I think, would be so scary.
Yeah.
I don't want to lane Medusa into that type of lane. It's different than Rubik Centaur, especially because you had the Clockwork bodying for you. You could potentially go for a 4th pick Dusa, where you have like an ET 4 or 5 position, but
which carry is not scary to have illusions of, though.
That's the beauty of
agility heroes are typically worse.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of damage that they output. Even better if they have some sort of modifier to their attack that works with the illusion.
So you want a strength carry.
Lunas and Medusas are much worse. Strength carries are a little bit better, but then they suffer against Soul Catcher. And they also can't be Radiance Fires. Well, you can actually turn off.
But what's
Radiance.
left?
Lifestealer. I think Lifestealer is probably the pick.
Okay.
It's just good against all 3 of these heroes. They're probably going to save it for 4th, just because you don't want to open yourself up to like a Razor or something of that nature.
It's one of those instances where, Brian, you talked about the Lifestealer difference before and after. Now that like Lifestealer wants to hold on to his Infest rather than use it as an Infest bomb before. That actually works to his advantage against Shadow Demon because your biggest problem before was Purge and being kited around, but now you always hold on to your Infest so you can use it as a counter to Purge.
And they go for the Doom, which is a bit strange against Centaur. I think they wanted like, okay, if you get disabled by this and you get disrupted, it's still not going to save you. They had pretty good catch. I think they're just highly valuing Doom. I don't think it's an amazing Doom game, but maybe they're thinking against all the cores you're talking about, the Morphs, the Voids, the Slarks that Nico Baby has been picking. Doom is just one of the best heroes at dealing with that.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't run away from that.
Yeah, there's no way for you. There's no forgiveness in that regard. In that, like Doom, and there's your Lifestealer. Well, I mean, even better once they see like certain heroes like the Tiny and Grimstroke.
I think Alliance gave them way too good of a Lifestealer pick here.
On the bright side, we now know that it's a limp Tiny, and he is the best Tiny in the world.
That is true. I have lost to it many times in my limited pro career.
And it's really good against Puck if your Tiny's really good at it, right? If he's able to consistently land those toss first combinations, then Puck can be food for a limp Tiny.
The question is, do they ban the Faceless Void? I think Doom's really nice against Faceless Void, but Faceless Void is very nice against Lifestealer.
Yeah.
And obviously it's Nico Baby.
Yeah.
How much do they respect it? Because I don't think it's an amazing pick if you look at all 10 heroes in the game. But if you look at the carry-to-carry matchup, it's quite nice.
Yeah, it's they don't have the best synergy with Faceless Void on their side, as in they don't have damage from the cores to pump in. But they also, the one thing they do have is Inkswell. I think I don't remember who opened my eyes to that, but like the Faceless Void that gets buffed up by Alacrity, Inkswell, like these sort of things can really do well. Inkswell, like
Skeever gave a chuckle there.
I was talking about what team. I remember it was a team that did that. But Inkswell is like just enough for me anyway to push Void over the top.
They ban it. It's gone.
I'm just a bit concerned if they go like, does Nico Baby play the Razors, the Ursas, like Diffusal here, like Diffusal Ursa, or?
I would imagine he does. Maybe not to the same extent as he plays the other carries.
Wraith King also stands out to me, actually. Wraith King for Nico Baby. Dude, they're going to pick Wraith King.
Wraith King, Dusa.
It's 100% a Wraith King. I hope Tundra has something in mind in the 4 position to deal with this.
They still like to pick it. What is good against Wraith King in the 4 position?
Do you think it's a 5 or a 4? Because
so far, mostly it's Fata's played. Yeah, I guess Fata's also played Snap, so it's up in the air.
I would prefer them be saving his hero for last on Snaking.
Yeah.
Enigma's still in the
I was going to say Enigma.
But
it might be a bit too greedy, though.
Isn't Wraith King already pretty decent against
That's
Enigma?
What I'm thinking too.
Yeah. Because you have 2 lives.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Jungle Venomancer.
No.
Percentage-based damage is super good against them so far, because if we're thinking it's going to be a Wraith King, they will have 3 strength cores. Alliance 2AT.
I'm 92% sure Alliance will pick Wraith King.
That's quite. It's
all a matter
convincing.
of what Tundra.
What's the other 8%?
Pairing. I haven't thought that far ahead yet, Cap. Whatever comes out, I'll say that was my second guess.
Ursa, Inkswell.
Ursa's probably the next one. It's probably Ursa. I don't like it nearly as much, but.
Ursa for Nico Baby instead of the Wraith King?
I'm saying if it's not Wraith King.
Oh, then that would be the second pick. Okay. Well, there's always still the Juggernaut in the pool. That's like if you can't think of anything else, it's probably Juggernaut.
For all the memers out there, I'm very well versed in the Jug Lifestealer matchup, and it's just not. It's not an amazing matchup.
No,
one way or the other.
All right, well, let's see what the ban is going to be for Alliance. They end up still banning out the Enigma.
Ooh, okay. They're onto it. Here comes the Venomancer.
Please no.
Please, Brian.
Please.
What else would work with Lifestealer? Say like Warlock doesn't fit here because it doesn't work with the Lifestealer per se. I'm just trying to think of heroes from a 5 position that I'd like.
He's a snake, guys.
No Ancient Apparition. That's the other percentage-based damage. Phoenix
Wyvern
is still out there.
Has some percentage base.
They don't have enough protection for a Phoenix. Wyvern.
Here first.
Alliances.
Is it going to be?
Here first?
That is a lion. Well, we have seen Snaking play lion. He has 100% win rate on it, and this DPC so far.
It's like, yeah.
There's the Wraith King. Maybe they like the lion because of the mana drain. I've seen. I think it was one of the Chinese players. I think they like maxed out Mana Void first when they were matched up against Wraith King.
I'm just so confused that they had Puck Doom and they weren't concerned about Wraith King.
Yeah,
I feel like that's literally the best carry. Like, I know he plays Morph and Void, but he also plays Wraith King. Nico Baby's a Wraith King signature.
Do you think part of it is the Lifestealer pickup, that they felt like Lifestealer does well enough against Wraith King? It's like, okay, it's a tanky hero that Lifestealer can man up on. He never runs out of damage against these strength heroes.
Yeah, it's like that matchup's like, I'd play that either way. I don't mind being the Wraith King. I don't mind being the Lifestealer, so I'm not too excited about it. I think it's too good of a Wraith King pick, so I'll go with Alliance here.
I'm a little bit concerned that it's just like the Tundra, they don't have that really big team fight. The Doom is a different kind of team fight, right? It's very single target oriented. Yeah. It really feels like they're addressing Nico Baby entirely, which I don't doubt. Like, Nico Baby, for me, represents more than 20% of Alliance. But give me a number. A little bit all in.
And who is he taking the percentage away
the percentage
from?
Coming away from? This is important. Yeah.
It takes away from everybody else.
Okay, equally. So how much is he taking away? What number are we at here?
Surely Limp Tiny is also over 20%.
So that leaves S4 at what percentage, Cap?
Okay.
17%.
17%.
Go for memes.
We're gonna find out who's gonna take this game too, and if it will be the first time that Tundra takes someone down 2-0. First time Alliance lose 0-2. We're gonna find out, but hopefully for everybody involved, we're gonna go to a third game. Let's head over to Moxie and Fogged first.
You know, Fogged, I'm really looking forward. I would love to see a full 3-game series out of both of these teams here. But of course, Alliance, they get the Nico Baby Wraith King, and they get the Limp Tiny.
Yeah.
So how much is this going to tip the scales in their favor this time around?
It's absolute comfort, right? Nico Baby's look super hot in the Wraith King all the times. The Slark, he he played really well on it, but it was such a hard game as we've seen, and we know Brian, he's said it a million times now. Just the Slark just looked a little bit lackluster overall in the game. Nico Baby on the Wraith King, much more comfortable, but they had to know this was coming, right? On Tundra, they picked Doom, they picked Puck, they picked these big ultimate heroes that Wraith King loves to play with, in particular that Doom. So they have to have a game plan ready for it. They take the Lion as the last one, and let's see if that's going to be enough to deal with this Nico Baby Wraith King. As he's had so many games where he is countered a bit, and either way, he does still have these phenomenal games. So yeah, we'll see if it does end up working out, because they do have that Lifestealer matchup, which can be good. Percent-based damage, as they were saying. Lifestealer and the Doom with the Infernal Blade will be effective versus those strength heroes overall, but will it be enough?
But how much of this is just addressing the Nico Baby Wraith King in the sense, right? Because you need to have, a plan to deal with everything that they've got with this lineup.
It is, but it's also addressing other things. Like, they did leave that Limp Tiny, but they do have ways to do it. And that's why they picked, the Doom and the Lifesteal afterwards. These high percentage-based heroes that also just eat a Tiny if he does make a couple mistakes forward. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, this will be an interesting one, and we'll see what S4 can do this time. He did have a bit of a rough time on the Centaur in the last game. He was just getting hunted. I think Fada had his number. This one, it looks like he should have a lot better of a time. He's not dealing with just like a one-to-one counter in the support position. Sure, he has to worry a little bit about Lifestealer and laning phase, but yeah, I think S4 should have a much easier time getting some clean initiations this game.
And I mean, the other thing that you have to keep in mind too is the positioning of Hanskin, right? He's on his Shadow Demon. This is a hero he really excels on, so he is going to be able to provide some sort of a save, which is always very, very nice in case things top lane. Yeah, already got be the first blood, and the aggression is on here from Alliance.
Yeah, this is a stronger lane as well too. Rubik Centaur, it's not a weak lane by any means, but Shadow Demon is his own different beast now. This hero has gotten so many buffs over time. Illusions lasting 11 seconds at level 1, ridiculous. And later stages, he'll always have saves, different ways to turn fights around 2 versus, like, let's say Doom or Core. He'll also be able to buy time for his team to be able to arrive. Yeah, I really like this pickup this time.
I mean, that's one thing that's really nice with this Alliance lineup here is they have ways to reset. You've got 2 lives on Nico Baby, hopefully, as long as, he has the mana available or he gets the shard. And then, of course, you have the reset. You've also got Stampede, so if you don't want to be in that position, you can just Stampede out. Whereas Tundra, a little bit more all in on the stuff here. Yeah. You can't really poke. You can poke with a puck, but at the same time, once you use that Dream Coil, it's down. Sapphire Kisses, same thing.
Effective though versus Stampede, right? Like if he does get the coil when Stampede's going off, they have the follow-up. They do have some great damage to be able to throw into it here. And already here starting off the lanes, we're seeing a pretty big advantage coming off from Alliance, especially in mid lane, as we do expect. Limp, so comfortable in these matchups. He's played Tiny versus Puck 1,000 times, snaking.
Ooh, the double stun lane. This is a problem here. One more hit. Oh no, he at the last second FNG will claim the snaking.
Much easier kill lanes this time too on the side of Tundra, on the side of Alliance. Sorry, this time they don't have a Wyvern. A Slark can be a little bit more defensive. This time it's full aggressive posture. Double stuns. Grimstroke thrives off of these type of plays too. 33. He likely won't go down here because of how beefy he is with that armor. But yeah, snaking. Has to be super careful with his positioning there. Let's go down the first time already.
Stuns win games, man.
They do.
Gotta have them.
And they hit level 2 first. That's always the important thing to look at those side lanes is who hits 2 first. The aggressive side or the defensive side is, that time. The aggressive side thrives.
A little bit of mind games too, right? Because you've already got 1 death on your lane. You're like, oh god, I have to play so carefully. We can't afford to have, this hero go and just snowball out of control as well.
You just got to be a little more careful on the side of snaking. And that does mean Nico Baby now won't be under any pressure this game. I mean, it was similar like last game though. He was under no pressure as the Slark, but as we said, Nico Baby Wraith King, a totally different story. That's just a stronger hero overall in the patch. Actually pushes buildings too. That's the thing that they had the Death Prophet last game to hit these objectives, but when I'm watching Slark, like, he has to just go for kills. He can't ever actually go for objectives. His top.
Set up again immediately, right coming out from Skeeter, but Cookie hop forward does manage to stun up S4, so he's got to be a little bit careful.
Skeeter.
Although there's plenty of damage being dumped over onto the Lifestealer as well.
Yeah, he goes for the Orb of Venom in the lane to try to fight back versus the Centaur, but a ton of damage that does come out between Centaur and Shadow Demon, even at the first 2 levels, and it just gets worse. That's the thing, is like, Shadow Demon, when you get level 3, especially 2, you can apply a lot more pressure onto that top lane. Skeeter's falling quite behind again this time around. This time he's not a Medusa, though, so he doesn't have the freedom to just go to jungle, farm some stacks. Lifestealer is not that type of hero.
Again, a lot of it comes down to, I feel, especially in this patch, and even the previous patch, right? It's a lot about stacks. It's about, making these camps set up very, very nicely and just accelerating the farm.
Oh, snaking.
Of course. Yeah, he's just wandering on through. Limp's going to be able to get the water rune and the top.
is able to secure the one, but yeah, Limp able to get his own. Level 5 already on Limp, both mid laners evened out here.
And this is the nice thing about having 33 on this Doom, too, is the fact that Snake King does wander off. He is going to try to, you know, secure up a rune or whatnot, and 33 is going to be fine against this combination.
Yeah, okay, and 33 actually opts to get the mana burn creep. Okay. I thought he was going to take the purge creep in this lane. He's playing versus Inkswell. I've seen so many times lately where I just see, like, an Inkswell comes out of Doom, just instantly Doom with that purge creep and is able to dispel it. But the mana burn is also just as effective. They won't be able to cast those spells if they're out of mana.
What game was it where we had the Doom mid against the Batrider, and he managed to get the purge creep?
I think that was Iceberg versus Mellow Jewel or something. I can't remember exactly who it was who was playing the Bat. But yeah, he just he won the game because he got a small creep. Batrider could do nothing the whole game. Yeah. Nice snag. That was a nice play by 33, using the mana burn to steal the big Satyr. Okay, a little clever usage.
That is getting a lot of attention here, but of course does have the cookie hop down to the low ground.
And they'll drag the way, but I think Skeeter's fine with that. He's like, oh, thank you, Fada. Thank you for dragging them away from me. As Fado now maybe can even get a ward up with his movement. Yeah, he can. So nice little play there from that Snapfire. Also going to check out to see if the bounty rune is still here in the opposite triangle, as we do see that. Snapfire making the moves even. Looking to pressure perhaps mid. The coil is available.
I think you need a +1. Yeah, you do have the +1 over there. You could potentially try to make moves, but I don't know.
No,
I feel like it's still really hard, right?
As soon as he skills his ultimate, that's when you know you can't make the move. The bonus armor is just way too much for you to make an aggressive move as top. He's got Rage, but it does not remove those poison stacks, as we know. Undispellable now, Shadow Poison. So as soon as the Rage wears off, he does take the damage anyway.
The bottom lane. Some plays being made over here onto 33, as they do have the stun. Not quite enough damage, though, like we talked about. Just going to be able to bully a bit.
Yeah.
But it is, of course, a Doom. Not the easiest hero to take down.
These skeletons are pushing him away, though. 33 might actually just have to heal. He's got no mana, no health. And Nico Baby is going to continue to just get, like we said, absolute free farm. All three lanes looking really hot this time for Alliance. Doom is still getting that extra farm. And, okay, he's actually sticking around. They have a Salve and a Clarity for him from Snaking.
Look at the way that S4 is able to just bully Skeeter here in this top lane.
Yeah,
he's really got no cares in the world here. And yes, it is a life stealer. Oh my god.
He's just hit. I mean, this is a problem. This Centaur already has the Vanguard and Boots finished up so early on. Skeeter is kind of forced out of lane. Do they have any regen for him? They have Tangos, but not quite enough.
Another hit there. He'll be able to stun S4 by Skeeter a little bit more time, but
yeah, Skeeter's really struggling. These pesky illusions too. The one scary thing is also he bought Orb of Corrosion, so those illusions, they work against you, but Nine
with a good rotation. Can they finish off the center though? He's looking for the stomp. He's holding on to it. Will be able to survive. Stomp comes in. He'll turn back around. He does fall though. His Fawcett should also go down, but they managed to hit the courier, and that is the boots for S4.
Big move from Nine. Haste Rune to the top lane to help out his lifesteal, who desperately needs his Skeeter.
Top tower is under attack.
Maybe now gets some final breathing room as Nine. Yeah, he makes up for the fact that they were getting quite smashed up there. Yeah, I'm surprised he actually did finish up Orb of Corrosion on the lifesteal. I can understand why versus Centaur, but into Shadow Demon, that just means the illusions hit you with Orb of Corrosion as well. It's actually one of the more painful things when you do build that versus these illusions.
Or in some cases, they go and they take the lifestealer illusions and have them hit over on Fada.
Yep. Skeeter. Oh, man. He does have a Salve. He's going to backpack his Bracer and his Corrosion for a second there to get some more efficiency. Snaking takes the mid lane for a moment while Nine makes the rotation. So nice efficiency and good aggressive move from Tundra early on. But as we said, Nico Baby free farm. So.
And the timings are much different when you have a Wraith King. Unlike the Slark, where, you know, like you said, not the greatest at farming. It really needs to get those kills nice and early on. But then G's going to grab himself an Arcane Rune.
This Wraith King is going to have quite an item advantage over our Lifestealer for sure. He just farms at such a fast pace with skeletons. You can actually pressure buildings too. It's completely different hero than the Slark, absolutely. Good start again for Alliance. And FNG, he's even going to... Okay, so FNG's trying to maximize too. Look at this Grimstroke. He's farming with an Arcane Rune. He's farming a stack right now. So just efficiency plays, right? He knows he doesn't need to help Wraith King. He doesn't see anywhere he's needed on the map. So, sure. Just farm some jungle.
Be a little greedy. Finds a fairy trinket. Life is good.
He's like, oh, I'll take this. Just kidding. Here you go, Limp. Take this fairy trinket.
Come back here. Please take this.
He's like, come here. I know Ocean Heart's great, but Limp, come on.
Come here. No, you're running the wrong way.
Pass it over to him in a second here, I'd imagine, but he's actually still hanging on to it.
Right.
Ocean's Heart is also very effective on mid laners, of course, but...
Not a lot of time in the water.
Yeah. Nine.
Well, they got the silence off, but won't be able to go and chain stun the puck this time around.
They tried. A Skeeter again, disrupted up top.
got the rage.
Yeah, he's able to sneak away this time.
Oh, he turns
around. He wanted to infest, but he gets stunned up.
Snake King over here is going to walk into Limp. He's got the toss up into the air, but now the rescue is going to get used over on FNG.
May you ride.
Gets a return kill. Oh man, Skeeter.
That's costly.
Yeah, he perhaps. I think he just thought he could. He knew he couldn't run away because of the stampede, but then he tries to go for the infest with too much damage, and he actually does end up going down. Big moves though.
They get S4.
9. Salvaging the early game, the disaster at least for the top lane.
He has been making all the right moves here, it seems.
He has.
Good rotations coming out because they know they have to get this farm online here for Skeeter.
Skeeter, but he's into mid, and there is a Phantom to silence him.
Here, the silence, the ink swell. Snake King's on his way. He's going to try. He manages to go in and infest here, so it's like Skeeter is going to survive this, but definitely feeling that pressure.
I'm very surprised they didn't pass the fairy trinket to Limp. He's still hanging on to Ocean. I feel like the extra magic damage there might have made the difference, but yeah, I guess FNG's just going to hang on to it. It is also effective on Grim, and as we said, the regen, the Ocean Heart, he's pretty much full mana, full health, always is tiny to make moves, but yeah, maybe missing a little bit of that extra damage there.
Oh, he's hoping he could get his hands on that. He has to be careful that there's a sentry ward dropped over on the side.
Yeah, they know he grabbed that Invis rune. Fada is covering himself.
Skirting the sides here.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting patiently. Is anybody gonna show up? Anybody home? He's gonna go right underneath this ward, so Fata immediately knowing no blink available just yet for Limp.
Yeah, Creep gives it away as well, too. But they'll be able to put pressure onto the tower. We do see 9 is still set up around here. They don't have the kisses just... Oh, no, they do have kisses, actually. Fada has the 6.
Yeah, there it is. There's the kisses with the Dream Coil as S4 is all leashed up. Cookie hop forward here is going to try to just dodge away from this avalanche. A good save, though, coming out from Basket. They go, they use the Stampede. Can they run out in time? It's 33. He's a fast demon. Nice stop, though, here from S4. Was it enough? Is it going to be enough to keep him alive? Look how fast 33 is. He's
trying to get on him.
The orb is coming in, but no. They won't be able to slay it. Not today. Not yet.
And a rotation, and a coil, and a kiss is used to net them
though.
nothing. They defend the tower, but it's costly. And it's probably going to go down to the next move right away. It's 160 HP on that top tower, as Nico Baby now probably knows, hey, all the ults are down. Free lane even more so for him, as this Radiance is going to come out at a crazy time. Lifestealer is going to take a long time to recover.
5.4k over here on Nico Baby, farming up the storm, and this time around they have the tower push, like you said. We'll clear up some of the Skelly men, though. Teleport coming out here. The Hex out. Try to drain some of that mana, but again, Nico Baby should be able to just walk away. Skeeter trying to get off some of these value clicks, though, as he's doing it, and there is a Grimstroke here. Throughout that slow, rest of the team is chasing after Nico Baby, but not going to be able to quite close that gap.
I think this is where Skeeter's home should be. Top and mid, just too scary for him versus the Tiny and the Centaur. Does have to stick around here.
We're very close to that Blink Dagger for Limp, and that's one thing will start to really amp up here for Alliance.
Yeah, S4 is also a total beast this game. He's got the Vanguard in the hood already at 12 minutes. This is some good timings again here for Alliance, as long as they can put a little bit more pressure than they did the last time. But they do have the overall really good carry that does match up even in the later stages, even if they do make some mistakes this time.
But surely this time around, it's easier to make the plays, right?
Yes,
Because last time, you know, you had a Slark. It's a very specific hero. You have to play very specifically with it. And then the Medusa, of course, obviously, you know, she's able to be farming off by herself. She was, I wouldn't say that she, was she ahead? They were really neck and neck for a long time until they started taking all the stacks.
Yeah, they were neck and neck.
It's a little bit different this time around, right? Lifestealer falling a bit behind, and Limp obviously, you know, with this Tiny is able to do a lot with it.
Yeah, and he's versus like he's got the counter pick versus the puck too, so 9 can be under some pressure here too if he does get caught by the combo. If he gets tossed first up, he's very likely to die from any follow-up disables.
FNG just trying to soak up some of this here. They don't see him in the tree line, so he's able to just teleport out, and Tundra will send 4 heroes down to this bottom area.
Yeah, and this is definitely the place for Skeeter to be.
Oh, there's they're looking for a play here. In fact, they should be able to go and find themselves.
That's a blink reveal. Picture perfect, and they can set up and swing right for the mid tower. Kisses are going to be used just to push them away from it.
They fortify. They still have those creeps. A little bit longer here.
Tower is under attack.
Rotation is on, though.
Dire's top tower is
don't want to be losing this tier 1 tower.
No, but in the bottom lane.
Oh my. The Limp Tiny, ladies and gentlemen.
There's a reason why this guy is feared on this hero.
The moment he gets Blink, gets 1 kill, kills the secondary core, denies the tower. Great moves coming out from Alliance. 2k gold advantage, and that's our Relic, I believe. 4 our Wraith King coming out already, while our Lifestealer just dies, and he doesn't even have the armlet finished up, and Jesus, look at these
Look at these stacks. Oh, this is what I like to see when there's a Shadow Demon online. I want to see some big, juicy stacks. They make some illusions here of 9 with that disruption, and it's just going to push him back. He's taking a decent amount of damage from himself.
Yeah, he is. And there's always going to be this unfortunate thing for Skeeter too, is Demonic Purge. One of the bane of all carries. Sure, there's a Doom on one side, but he's playing into Wraith King, so Wraith King doesn't care so much. Lifestealer getting Demonic Purged is devastating. He has to pretty much immediately infest and just sit inside of it during the whole duration of the fight.
Well, now they've got to figure out how do you poke, how do you get onto the back lines here and deal with Pumpkin.
You need the blink.
Very important.
Yeah, you just need 9 to get a blink dagger. He's gone for the Witchblade. He wants to go for more of that greedy thing because it's appropriate. He wants to be able to scale as well, but that does mean that their fighting is quite impossible. Oh, baby, look at this. This is just so nice. Look at
Of course, happy. He's in his own little world here. Maybe he'll share with Nico Baby. Yeah, you know, the family that farms together stays together.
That's true. I like that. Skeletons up. That's far as let me get like 3 or 4 of these. I'm very close to blink.
I'm very close to blink.
Yeah. Nico Baby's like, yeah, actually, you can tank these two because these are hitting me pretty hard.
It's a symbiotic relationship, you know. The S4 and the Nico Baby in their natural habitat here in the triangle area.
That's perfect. It's just enough stacks, actually. Beautiful by Hanskin. Radiant's about to be done. Blink is done too. S4 says thank you to his teammate, probably to both of them. Yeah, beautiful. 3k gold advantage. And Tundra, they're just sitting back trying to farm to recover after this really tough start for Skeeter. They have plays they can make with Infest, but I don't know if they even want to bring Skeeter into any action at this point, because if he dies, the game could just end very quickly, as he'll never be able to catch up to Wraith King.
It's all about clicking those buttons real fast, because you know that there is going to be a Limp Tiny hunting you. There is going to be an S4 looking to stomp you. Fast fingers, boys. Fast fingers.
Yep, and gotta always watch out for these phantoms and little silences that'll be coming into play too. Lean from Alliance again. This start here, 3k gold advantage, and that's just gonna be a lot harder for Tundra to recover this time.
Skin is silenced, the finger, and that's a nice pick off here for 9.
It's under attack.
Working on that blink dagger like we talked about.
Yep. Any kill they can get right now. To make a second move, Limp is pretty far
Oh,
up.
that Gentle Toss has already been used as they'll stun him. Immediately throwing out the Doom as well. The TPs are coming out. It's a lot of heroes making their way down here to the bottom lane to ensure that Limp is slowed down.
Nice move. Tundra finally hit back in the game. And that is 38 seconds with no Tiny. Skeeter gets some freedom. They also get 9 to be able to move around with an Invis rune. See if we can find anything else. They are going to go for the Infest. Okay, they are doing it nice and early on here. They want to try to get a tower advantage, and they can blow up anybody here. Hanskin shows.
He shows over on this tower.
They're going to dive him.
Look at this. Yeah, immediately, especially knowing that disruption is not going to be there to save him.
Oh, S4, he jumps in for the stun, but making it so fast.
Yeah, they do, and they've got all the kisses here. They'll go. They'll use a Stampede to link them up, though. Nico Baby finding the kill, does have that ink swell on him. We'll chase down over here onto Skeeter. They want to take him out, but they're not going to be able to quite get their hands on him just yet. The slow, the Ray Fire Blast, the top comes out here. Can they keep him alive in time? Skeeter, no, he will fall to Nico Baby as the king is on the hunt. He's looking for 9. Can he get there? Does have that radiance. He's burning down over here on 9. It's pretty hard for him to get his hands on it, though. So.
He is so farmed. He's got Radiance, and they actually have Solar Crest already at this point. FNG, as we said, he was being a bit greedy on this group show. Solar Crest plus Radiance. They might even be able to threaten a Roche pretty soon early on here. This is just great stuff here from Alliance. Even though they get the quick early stun onto the S4 when he does jump in, doesn't matter. The Wraith King, he's ready to battle. He's ready to join in. And Skeeter again, as we said, this is why I was concerned about him jumping in for this Infest. Like, him dying there, that cripples his game completely. Now he's going to be super far. He already was very far behind, but he just farms at this much slower pace than a Radiance Wraith King and just a natural Wraith King as is. Puts him in a very tough spot now this game, as he's the most important hero on the game for his team.
There's a quickie hop forward, and stuff is happening behind that. Okay, it's a bit FNG. Blink Dagger completed now for Nico Baby. This game is just going to get harder and harder. They're going to be able to get the jumps in.
Yeah, so many forms of initiation, and it's really just the Puck who's the form of initiation on the side of Tundra, who, if he gets caught, he's dead. If he just gets caught by the Tiny combo perfectly, Limp will kill him now, especially with Echo Saber.
I mean, 9 is making fantastic plays around the map, but they keep doing this. They keep going for the lifesteal and Fest Bomb. Do they just feel so pressured that he can't catch up otherwise?
I think they're just feeling that, like, if he just sits back and farms, he's just going to get ganked and die as this lifestealer. So I mean, honestly, this might actually be the right move. Just trying to catch them when they do have vision. If they can catch some Alliance when they're split up, they can make good moves, as they do see FNG under the ward. And now Alliance is split up.
They are indeed here as they go and use the Doom over on S4. These long-range kisses not going to be able to quite land over here on S4, but they still will get the kill. That's 2 kills now for Skeeter, who desperately needs them.
Yeah, that was good. That was very nice. This time around, he does get enabled nicely. As using that ward to its perfection. They did see a moment of opportunity to strike, and they took it. You do have coil still available, too. 9 was able to hang on to that. Line slipping up a little bit here.
Baby still farming, still trying to defend this middle tower as well. We can see Hanskin, he's working on that Ag Scepter. That's going to be very important.
It's going to make, as always, it's always going to make these carries' lives quite miserable. Nothing to really, I mean, actually the break isn't that bad versus Lifestealer either. It's quite effective, actually, versus both of these passives. But just the slow is that strong, yeah. As the jump, Nico, baby. But, he just finds a stack instead. He's like, I don't even want you. Thank you.
And Limp over in the mid lane, the toss up, the Inkswell. The quick for the Fafata does buy a bit more time, so we'll protect 33, but the stack is getting chewed up here by Nico, baby, and the boys.
33 will have Blink Dagger now done. So 2 forms of initiation for the side of Tundra. That'll make it a lot easier for them to get into the back onto this Tiny and Centaur.
Is under attack.
The Tiny is working on that BKB now.
Yes.
Bottom lane, Skeeter.
Ooh, it does scurry away. He'll be able to rage TP.
That's about to come off cooldown. Patient though.
He's sticking
Okay,
around.
there
Yeah,
it is.
he has to.
He has to, no way.
If he doesn't rage, I would be so scared because you just get clipped by a shadow poison, you get disrupted, and then you're dead. Yep, so good on him that he does play it nice and safe.
Blink now picked up for the Doom. Try to get onto some of those back lines. It seems like S4, of course, he is always the one who is presenting his body very forward, so he ends up eating the Doom, and he's okay with that because he's tanky. Little disruption here on Nico Baby, just gonna push out the waves, get a little farm online here, help get towards that nice Aghanim's timing.
Yep, Radiant Illusions, the best. Love to play with those. Doom back up very soon on the side of Tundra. Still getting some pretty good item timings as they have slowed down, as we said. They slowed down Alliance's big lead there. Well, big lead, I said. It's a 3K, 4K, but some nice aggressive moves with the Infest are working out for them. They're going to try it again.
They're recovering nicely.
Yeah.
That's the big thing going here for Tundra, is that this Lifestealer was starting to fall very far behind. 9 on the hunt, though. S4 coming
Alliance is swinging. They're bringing all 5 heroes up here.
I don't think that's who you want to go on here, 9, but it's waiting patiently.
Ooh, they deward the ward, so they do know that Alliance is probably positioned over here on the right. 9. He is going to try to just scurry himself away from them.
Silence.
Find the creep wave. We finish off the tower quickly. There's a glyph, though.
They're swinging around.
And Alliance doing Roche. They've got this minus armor from the Solar Crest, DD Tiny, anything with the Hyperstone.
Immediately looking forward. Not going to be able to go cancel out the TP, as 9 is already just orbed away. So this Roche belongs to Lions. There's nothing that Tundra can do about this.
Second worst thing that Doom he's playing against. Not just 1 life, not just 2 lives, but 3. But they actually just give it to Limp so he can actually play more aggressively. And I think Nico Baby might be feeling to a point that he might not die.
I mean, he hasn't died yet, so makes sense. I do like the way that 9 is constantly trying to poke, trying to, you know, push out these waves. He's one of the few heroes over here that can do it, right? He's the only one that really has a nice escape. For now.
Looking like they might want to make a move on S4. They're bringing all 3 Blink heroes down bottom. Snaking has his Blink, 9 Blink, 33 Blink. But still too many heroes in the area.
They scan, though.
Yeah, they do scan.
Might be going for...
They might actually look to... 9 is just very low on mana. I wouldn't like if they tried to make the jump here. He's getting his mana prepared in case something does happen. But Alliance looks so aware of this. Look at their positioning.
Yes.
But they might even just jump 9.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. There's Lip. Not going to be able to quite stun lock. They do have the Phantom's Embrace over here on 9. Already you can see 33 and Snaking. They're high-tailing it out. They want nothing to do with this.
Has to get the toss first. He knew it was just a bit out of range. Even with Inkswell, can't get the connection. Onto the puck. Gonna try again.
Doesn't have that follow-up with the Inkswell or the Phantom's Embrace, but puts out a decent amount of damage, and 9 should be able to just teleport. A little bit risky, though.
Yeah, he was just...
Did you see
He's
that
just playing a little,
just backed off there?
I don't think he's at risk, really, of the Grimstroke to catch up to him there.
Okay.
Definitely a little risky, though. He's just cutting waves, trying to buy time. As they need a lot more time for Skeeter still in this game.
Still does not have that Deso online yet.
No. They will have Solar Crest finished for him, at least from behind with the Snapfire. But yeah, he's, like I said, full item behind now this time again versus the Wraith King. The cores are keeping up, though. This Doom, as we've seen, Devour, is a magical thing. 33 is incredibly farmed, and he's going to be able to try to counteract the AC, the opposing AC that he is playing against. Because Wraith King, he saw the Hyper Spawn was being built, he's going to go for armor to try to enable Skeeter, and Skeeter's going for Deso, so they'll have some good solutions versus this Wraith King.
Pressure on the tier 2s here in the bottom lane, and with some being placed over on the top as well, but look at how fast the tower's just going down right now.
Yeah.
They just can't approach.
They're going to keep going. I think Alliance should keep going with this. They just force them back to base. Look what Tundra's doing right now, right? Split pushing top lane, split pushing mid lane, cutting waves bottom from before. Force them back to base. Get rid of these shenanigans.
How do you kill both of them? That's my question, because Limp's got a second life. You've obviously got the reincarnation over on Nico, baby. How do you slow these boys down?
They're gonna need everybody but 9. His TP just comes back up. He's gonna come back with Brett. It's almost dead.
How do you get in there? Yeah, forward again over on the back. Over the back lines, though. They spot Skeeter, and they spot the link over here. The disruption comes out by just enough time here as the sweep doesn't quite connect.
They're on Nico, baby.
Come out, and they're jumping over onto Nico, baby. Yeah, he is doomed up, but he's gonna be coming right. Oh no, he doesn't. He's down. The Desolator being picked up now here from the Lifestealer at 33. He's getting these stuns off over on the side, and everything's just so split up. They'll find the kill over onto bottom. Hanskin will fall on the back lines.
Skeeter dies, but so does Nico, baby. I think you take that for Tundra in the position that you're in. They did a great job of just making these double moves in his limp. He's looking for one more, but it's a bit deep. I think even jumping in there is a little crazy. Even though Tundra did use everything, I think you do have to be very careful now that your Wraith King is dead. You don't want any buybacks to come out and you feed, and then your Wraith King is coming back, and you just ended up losing so many. So backing up, right choice here. They're still lingering, maybe perhaps waiting for one type of kill since they do have good vision in the area, but great hit from Tundra. Jumping on the backline, 4-man coil, I believe it was, into the silence, while the poor Wraith King is isolated. He gets killed the once, then they get Doom on him the second time, and they're able to bring him down. They used everything on that first kill with this Mortimer Kisses and everything, so.
It was definitely necessary, because we were asking, now, how do you kill both of these guys twice? And the answer is, you ignore Limp, go into the back lines here with the Puck and the Lifestealer, and then while this is going down, over on the back lines is Wraith King. Can't even see him on the screen. He falls one time, Doom off. Goes down a second, and without him there, it just Alliance doesn't feel as strong or as confident.
Tundra's, they're making some really heads-up moves. Real heads-up moves. It's a risky one, but they have to go for it because they're losing their racks. They have to just jump in. They lose Skeeter, as I said, and 9, he dropped very low. He actually it's very close because he got leashed, but then the main target of the leash died, I'm pretty sure, so he gets unleashed, and then he's able to actually disconnect and get away from the fight there. But yeah, a risky move. But they do get a big kill finally onto that Wraith King.
Right, it has to be the connecting person that goes down, right, for it to do a relapse?
Yes.
Right.
They were also so split from everybody else. I mean, Tundra was all playing in their base when they made that jump.
No, it was exactly the right play. You needed to split everyone apart, and they just managed to crack them. So a nice play here coming out from Tundra, but they still have to be very aware of the fact that Nico Baby is very much looming in this game.
He is, and yeah, Skeeter, if he lives in that fight, it's huge for Tundra. Like, this comes out, it's kind of even. Of course, like, Tundra maybe favored a little bit in it, but they did have to utilize so much, right? Like, the ults are going to be down for a while now, too, so Alliance, they're going to have some time when the Wraith King respawns to make another hit, because Doom will be down for another, like, 70 seconds when he does respawn.
Well, that and also the fact that, yes, you know, Skeeter has been starting to recover a little bit, but he's still not quite there yet, especially when you see, you know, the fact he's going up against a Wraith King that's got very good farming capabilities, and then the time that he's dead, this is time that he's not hitting creeps. He needs to catch up, and he's not finding that breathing room to be able to do it because, you know, Alliance keeps bringing the fight to them each time, and he has to react.
Yeah, and he just keeps dying. It really is like if he gets out in even one of these situations, it's huge for them. But yeah, 4 deaths this time. 9, as we said, he's the standout this time for them. The Puck, 6-1. 6-1-4. 10 of the 12 kills. Been doing an excellent job so far. Has great spell lamp too. Grove Bow plus the Kaya Sage. Kaya Sage, I love this pickup lately on these Pucks when you're playing versus something like Tiny. Makes you tankier. Status are just as great. It does all the effective things that you do need versus those high bursty heroes that you can kind of get punished by.
You can see too some of the BKBs are being picked up or worked on rather for the side of Alliance here. So
9 tries to poke onto the tower again here. Hanskin continuing to be a nuisance, not letting this mid tower go down.
Doesn't feel good when your illusions are planking on you and you are Itemize away the puck is.
Regeneration!
Oh yeah, BKB is the next item here for the Wraith King, just finishing up that Assault Cuirass as well, just right before that fight, so
Yeah.
it's going to make things more difficult, and it's going to put more pressure on this Lifestealer to be able to supply that physical damage, because if he's got the BKB up, Mortar Kisses don't do a whole heck of a lot.
They're thinking about hitting again here. The Infested looking for the backline. They're trying to find Hanskin. They see him.
They do see him, but there's the rest of the team is nearby.
Yeah.
Let's be very careful.
You gotta be just a little bit more careful. I mean, the ward is spotting them, though, completely, and Alliance has no idea this ward is here. Alliance, they're gonna go back in. As we said, Doom on cooldown. The game plan was written for them.
Let's slow him down. Let's stun him up a bit. CS4 getting into position, though. If anybody tries to go too hard over here on Nico Baby, they'll immediately respond. So
25 seconds.
Ooh, look at this. They're trying to do play again here. Oh, the jump from Limp. Silence. Be able to go stun Silence. They're going to be able to finish him off. Yeah, that is going to be over on the cliff.
Oh, God.
Where he wants to be at all. They're going to try to rain Hellfire down here using this Mortimer Kisses, but the disruption comes up, buys a bit more time. He's just stuck over here on all of this. They can't do a whole heck of a lot. Top they go. They leash them up, too. It goes right through that BKB. This is not looking great here as FNG with the stroke of fate will be able to go get the kill. Snake King the stun up over here on Nico Baby. Slow him down, but now they don't have Skeeter and they don't have 9. They can just waltz right back in there.
They sure can. There's a Doom available, but Kisses were used, and 9. We were just praising him. Jumps up onto the high ground, gets his carry stuck. I mean, the vision is up there. He knew it was up there, too. That's why he jumped up there to de-ward it, but not quick enough to be able to jump down Limp. Quickly gets the combo onto him, and yeah, it's a quick disaster for Tundra as now Alliance get a Rex, and perhaps even a second one as they have another 20 seconds.
Oh, the jump forward from Snake King. Ooh, that's pretty scary.
That is a very crazy dive.
But 33 over on the back lines. Do they have any stun? They have the disruption. Follow up here with the Inkswell on Nico Baby. This is looking like a dead 33. Do you have to be careful, though? 9 is, of course, back up, and they're going to have the Lifestealer up very, very shortly. So, Alliance, they hit hard, but they're going to be very disciplined, and they're going to back off.
Yep. They got such good map control now. Tundra still looking to make these hits, still trying to catch them off guard, playing around this vision when Alliance does split up. But these last few ones, this last one really hurting them. As Hanskin has Ags coming out, by the way, as a Shadow Demon.
Oh dear.
9. He gets information.
Over on the
They
back
showed
line,
themselves.
though, can they burst down? Does any of these supports? They follow up immediately. It has to be on from Snaking here. They do manage to take down 9. There's no puck. BKB coming out again. They just focused on Snaking. He's eliminated. As Skeeter, he's chasing after Hudson. He can't even get his hands on the support here. This is not looking good for them as he goes down.
They revealed themselves on the sentry, too. That's why 9 jumps. He sees the 2 supports. But how did he get insta-stunned? Did he just eat a Wraith Fire Blast, or did he just... I didn't see what actually connected on the stun initially. Maybe it was just S4 getting a clutch stun on him instantly, but... Oh, man, a big slip-up for 9, as now that's very likely just the game. I mean, 30 seconds where they don't have the Lifestealer. And yeah, we'll see that again. As he jumps in, what actually catches him with the stun? No, he just gets stunned by Wraith Fire Blast. Oh, a big mistake from 9. He just gets instantly comboed down. He doesn't get the phase shift off.
Nico Baby just... scrubs on in and bugs them up, so yeah, these tower rats going down the top lane
are under attack.
Gonna be up in about 10 seconds here for the Lifestealer. Puck's coming up, but they lose these buildings. These are very costly mistakes coming out here from the side of Tundra. They can't afford to be making these, and with Ags completed now for Hanskin, this fight gets even harder, and then I believe we're getting very, very close to the Centaur Agnums as well.
Centaur, Ags, BKB, Wraith King. The only way the Wraith King was dying was from all that magic damage from before.
Kisses.
Now it's just not going to be. Yeah, Kisses, Infernal Blade, like the Scorched Earth. That is an overwhelming amount of damage, but
true.
Yeah, BKB, Titan Sliver. Now it's just a clear path for Alliance to take out this game as Tundra.
There it is.
They have to just kind of wait on the high ground here. And now they probably don't even have the damage to deal with the Centaur Stampede either. Pipe, Stampede. It's been mostly magic damage carrying them through any of the fights that they did win. Now there's just solutions. Alliance prepared nicely.
Skeeter just fell so far behind, and they tried to make these plays, right? They're trying to find the solutions. They went and they used the Lifestealer Bomb in 9, and yeah, they got a couple nice kills, but at the end of the day, once these BKBs come online, so much of their damage over on the side of Tundra just totally negated, as they are smoked up here on the side of Alliance, and they're hoping someone's gonna get greedy and walk into the jungle.
Who's hanging on to this? I keep checking around. They have an Aghanim Shard in the FNG inventory, but he's just chilling on it. I don't know. I think maybe he bought it. I don't know what happened.
Oh, look at a quick pick off over here on Snake King. He dared to step outside his base, and Alliance is not happy about that, so... Yeah, I don't know why they're holding on to the shard like that.
Dire's middle tower.
I think he bought a second one. I'm not sure what happened.
Buy back now from Snake King. Yeah, they already have the shard online.
Oh. He's rich.
Man, what's it like to be a position 5?
Yeah.
I want that.
Looking for the wraparound again.
Nico, though, the jump forward immediately. The Ray Fire Blast over here onto the Snapfire as they go with the infest spot. Can they blow Hanskin fast enough? He is leashed up. He's got the disruption, though, and the BKB over here. They'll turn right back. Everything is possible. Bottom will fight back. Hanskin's still here. But Nico, baby, just hitting over on the side. They take down 9. They take that Skinner. And the chase is on now here. Force making the jump forward, the blink, the toss. They just delete him, and the GG gets called.
They couldn't even take out Hanskin. He able to get the self-disruption off with the Essence Ring, saving his life for a second. There's Alliance. This time the game plan works. They get the super far Wraith King from the start of the game. Centaur has an excellent start top. Limp with his blink reveal early on, getting 2 huge kills on both cores.
5 seconds remaining.
Very, very important for
Dire
both
team
teams
back.
for multiple reasons. For Alliance, they are at the moment 4-1, which is great. That's actually really good. That's like at the top. And that is where they want to continue being. And they can continue being there if they just win this series, Brian.
And who's not 4-1, Shiva?
10
Tundra.
seconds.
Exactly.
Alliances
And
turn
they are a
to
team
ban.
that is in the middle of the pack, and this will make or break their chances at the major.
Dire
They
team back.
need this win, baby.
They do.
You know who is 4-1 though?
Liquid.
Very different path that is currently happening right now between the two teams that are 4-1. Alliance has to beat Tundra here, and then they also have to play against Hellbear Smashers.
10
Liquid on the other
seconds
side, they have rough opponents. They still have to play against
5
Secrets
seconds remaining.
and OG.
Yeah. It's
So,
gonna
I mean,
be it's a
Secret's
tough one.
like 6th place
So
view.
Alliance has it. They have first place.
They do.
They just beat the teams they're expected to beat.
Alliances turn
Brame,
to ban.
Tundra. They already lost to Brame. 0-1.
Yes, they already lost to Brame, but if they somehow
Dire
lose their
team
first place slot because they lost against
Brame and
possibly
Tundra.
the bottom 3 teams,
Yeah.
like what?
I'm so down, man. I'm so down for that.
Brian
That
actually got
storyline
up
sounds
for that.
dope.
Look at Tundra, Ben Timbersaw, Ben Santar.
Let's see it.
Here comes the DK.
Alliances turn to pick.
Also, are they going to get their Tidehunter or their Enigma? I really feel strongly about this.
About that Tide?
About either one of those heroes, about the big team fight spells. I feel like Tundra plays really well with that, not having the pressure on them.
Yeah.
I think that's what team fight,
10
big team fight really gives you, is that you don't have the pressure on you so much because you
5
feel confident in your late
seconds
game
remaining.
because you've got big team fight spells, and you also never really feel like you're out of the game.
Alliances turn to pick. Lena.
That's Alina coming out for Alliance. Please, that's what the sound was like. Yep, there we go.
And a Slardar.
I mean, you can't really go wrong with Alina, so
No, they're not gonna
that's decent. We haven't we seen Hanskill lose on Alina yet? I don't think so.
10 seconds remaining.
100% win rate.
DK or Tiny?
3 games.
5 seconds remaining.
If they pick Tiny, they wouldn't pick DK, so they can't be 100% pick rate on DK. If they pick Tiny, thus no Tiny.
Maths.
Dire team.
Wow.
That's why we
I might
hired
go
you.
Mars, man.
Hunter.
No, they go for the Tide
I was
themselves.
thinking, okay.
Oh, I
The
like
beefy
that.
boy deny pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
He gets up.
Nice.
That's a slam of the mic if he had one, but he
Gets up, walks out.
walks away.
Yeah, yeah.
My hero's picked. I'm out.
10
That was Hanskin, right? I
seconds
couldn't quite see it.
Imagine if he just, like
5
all the hype
seconds
moments that you've
remaining.
seen in Dota, somebody just does that for a draft. You know? They just slam their headset on the ground because they got a sick draft. We fucking got him, boys! Got him on the last pick!
And then you gotta go into the game and prove it still. I don't know about that. That's all your adrenaline popping right then. You gotta save that stuff.
Tundra doesn't know what to do.
No.
What?
They were not expecting
Take
this.
Tidehunter. That's our hero.
So what do you do against it? Do you pick the Enigma at this stage? Is that still an option? Would you still like to see that? Now that you're going up against the Tide, which is...
It does
tricky.
represent kill power against Tidehunter because it's a disable, but
Yeah,
that
their
you
option
cannot
is-
beat. But go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I thought you were done. Go
No,
ahead.
that's it.
Brian, what do you want to say?
Oh. You done?
Yeah.
I was going to say they could just go for team fight of their own, like the Faceless Void. That counters the Tide. And
That early?
Rock and Shield. It's not like the best lane, but I don't know what carry you're like super excited to pick.
Bristleback!
If it's not a great lane, though, I feel like you're kind of setting yourself up for failure. When, like, your first 2 heroes that you see, you already see the offlane, and you're like, I'm going to pick this despite it being a bad lane, and then their draft is, they still have a
10
full draft to be able to
seconds
counter you outside of the laning phase as well.
I'm saying that there's not very
5
many
seconds remaining.
heroes, if any, that I'd be like, yeah, let's pick that into
Alliances
Tide
turn
Lena. We're
to
feeling
ban.
good about it.
Okay.
So in that case, I usually draft for the game.
What about Bristleback?
I believe this is a 33 bristle,
Yeah.
but I also have seen some mid bristles. The bottle change and the rune change, really good for bristle. The hero's only issue really early game is regen.
I'm a big
the
fan
Ags rush.
Higher net worth priority Bristleback. If it is your 3 position, like I want you to set it up to really succeed because I think this hero scales very well.
Acceptor Eternal Shroud. This hero is actually nuts.
Yeah, like Bristleback was viable to be a carry style offlaner before, and they've only been giving it better and better tools. Aghanim Scepter is insane. They've been buffing up Warpath over the course of like the last 3 years when it comes to damage or the amount of stacks that you can get. Hairball has been added in, which is a super sick like mid-game shard option. Eternal Shroud, fresh to the game, really good for Bristleback. Like stocks are high on Bristleback.
I like the Viper ban. I don't even believe the Slark ban's necessary, but I'm okay with it. I think you have to ban Faceless Void. If you are against Alliance,
yes,
and you look at Nico Baby's pool,
yes,
and you have Bristleback, you better ban the Faceless Void. That time dilation is a real nuisance.
Yes. Kills Bristleback's game.
Yeah, and the sustain just from time walk against like the slow but sure wear down of the bristle.
What else kills Bristleback's game is break mechanics. So it does mean there is going to be a carry.
PA, perhaps?
PA. There are only 6 breaks in the game coming from heroes.
Name them, chat. Oh, that's you, Cap. Go ahead.
6 breaks.
Doom.
Yeah.
PA. Viper.
Shadow Demon.
Shadow Demon with Aghanim Scepter. Hoodwink is one I always forget. That hero is in Captain's mode, so we're going to include it.
And? I know which one's left. T-Gov would be very disappointed.
Well, it's no
longer... Spirit Breaker with Shard.
Oh, yeah.
Very disappointed, T-Gov.
Yeah. And only two of those heroes have break without buying anything, right? Viper and Hoodwink, so...
Rip Nyx, man, Rip Nyx.
Yeah, Rip Nyx Assassin. He had a
10
break.
seconds remaining.
Why'd they take it? Why did they take it?
His Vendetta just did too much.
5 seconds remaining.
If you remember in the old days, Vendetta was just damage. That's all it was. And then they made it pure damage. And then they gave it break. And then they gave it True Strike or whatever. I'm like, what the hell? End this.
And he's still not picked that often. So
some teams really favor him, but those teams being Hellbear Smashers tells you a lot.
So the point of that whole thing is that there's not very many options for break, particularly if you already have some of your roles picked up. Viper's banned. You can't pick Hoodwink, and the hero's pretty bad. Also, you already have your 4 position. Yes, Shiver.
I was curious. I feel like now that we've had all the bans from Tundra, should we bring up the conversation topic of the DK again?
Yeah.
Still in the pool? We hating or we liking?
I mean, it's lost, so you know I'm not going to be all doom and gloom like why aren't you banning the DK? Because you know what, I was wrong on that. They lost the game. Brian was right. 80% win rate was correct.
Yeah.
Not 100% win rate.
How did they lose that game again? What went wrong? Oh, they were up against
Spartan, unstoppable. The Dark Willow actually shredded him.
Also, where did Phoenix go? Again, all these tanky boys. Like Phoenix is a
decent
pickup.
Mm-hmm.
It's good with maybe Axe or Mars offlane, and that's it.
Well, we've seen FNG play it like once.
That's pretty good too.
Does DPC?
You know.
I'm just saying, I've had a bunch of Phoenixes, and it's pretty prominent in EU. It's a staple here in this region.
I think it was overpicked, but now I think it's being underpicked.
So you think it's just gone from full to 0 for no reason? It should go from like full to quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. They do ban the Enigma. Enigma would be quite nice in theory with the Bristleback. You know what else is also nice with the Bristleback in theory offlane?
Grimstroke?
4 position Venomancer.
Oh my goodness.
Stop it, Brian.
Please.
Okay, actually, Keeper of the Light would be pretty cool. I'd like Keeper of the Light here. They could even run it as a carry potentially, like Keeper of the Light plus Bristle Top. I have to imagine that would do pretty well against Tide Lena. It may struggle early, but both those heroes are pretty low armor. I think Tide's like 3 and Lena's like 2. Something like that.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah. Stacking your triangle feels really good for 4 positions right now. Because the
Alliances
you don't want to be in lane all the time anyway, and if you could stack up a hard camp in Ancients, every team has some sort of Ancient farmer.
Just pick his Dirts. Dirty.
That is a hero that's been first phase banned.
Dirty is good. Dirts is... it sounds like it's...
Second phase banned.
It's late night
10
dirty.
seconds remaining.
It's especially good here against Grimstroke. You just can't do
5
anything.
seconds remaining.
Whatever lane Grimstroke's in is going to lose. You not only have no way to deal with summons, but you also just enchant that Inkswell off.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do.
And
It's
you
also
can't,
good against Lina.
Yes.
Right? Because she wins almost all trade-offs with 5 positions, except for neutral creeps. Like, she can't beat a neutral creep. And then we've seen how Enchantress threatens Tidehunter. Because with max out impetus, you just throw a couple shots at him. He's already at half health, and he's at that position where, like, I could actually get bursted down here without getting my Ravage off. Like, I'm uncomfortable with this position I'm at. I can't sit frontline like I like.
Oh, what a surprise!
Shocker!
Look at what's coming our way on the side of Alliance!
Look at Lev. He's got that
Business as usual.
Yeah.
FNG's just like,
Not
what do you
impressed.
mean I have to pick you, DK? I'm sorry, it's game 3. It's tradition, bro.
Yeah. Why stop now?
5
Right?
seconds remaining.
Don't stop me now.
Dire
DK
team
is kind of a
banned.
Silver Edge Fire.
Alchemist.
Oh, I heard an alchemist.
Yes,
I think
same.
this Alchemist did them.
We talked about
Yo.
acceptors.
Aghanim Scepter given to a Bristleback. Oh.
This is the cheese strat we've been waiting for.
10
Put away your
seconds remaining.
boring DK
Alliances
strats
turn to
alliance. This
ban.
is where the real meta is being developed. Tundra with the hot takes on 7.29C. I'm actually down. I'm really down for this.
Yeah?
They do not have early lane pressure on whatever lane dodges the Tide Lina. Like, Grimstroke DK, like, they have ways of dealing with this stuff. I think if
10
they did
seconds
Enchantress
remaining.
Alk off lane, Bristle mid, this would look really nice.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it also puts pressure on Alliance in a way that I'm not sure if they're comfortable with, knowing that this Alk is out farming you. It doesn't allow Nico Baby to play the same kind of game that he likes to. It also means he can't pick Wraith King.
Mm-hmm.
Skeletons are money.
Oh, yeah. They do ban out the Faceless Void, which is good.
Yeah.
10 seconds
That was
remaining.
the number 1 left out of all of Nico Baby's toolkit. What else
5
is there? We said PA,
seconds
right?
remaining.
I would be fine with the PA ban. Kills Enchantress, break against Bristle. It might struggle against the pace of the game, but it would give you an inevitable win condition that, like you said with Tundra, they like to be the ones chilling, hitting their timings.
Yeah.
So if they feel comfortable that they can go as late as they need to, I think they'll put themselves in a better spot.
Are we missing a 9 here on the side of Tundra?
Nah, it's Bristle mid.
Do you think it's Bristle mid?
I would like it.
Alliances
Kind of depends on how they
turn
want
to
to.
ban.
You're probably right. I don't know. I think like the one lane Bristle and Alchemist would struggle a bit is against this Tide Lina. It's a lot of physical, early game. Don't necessarily have the best enablers, and maybe you're okay kind of throwing Bristle to a mediocre lane because he's going to get fed in Ags. You'll probably stack with
10
Enchantress.
seconds remaining.
They'll probably hit those timings anyways. Somebody has to be thrown to
5
this annoying
seconds
lane.
remaining.
Maybe the Enchantress is good enough to enable it. Cap said, you know,
Dire
it's
team
good against the Lina, but I kind of think it's a waste if you don't put it against the Grim. It's so good against Grim.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they do ban out the puck just in
It's very
case.
nice.
Why would they ban out Puck when they have the DK? That's a respect ban right there if
Yep.
I've ever seen one.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
You know what hero looks
9
sick?
put in some work last game.
He did.
seconds
He
Bat
did.
Rider, dude.
Bat
9 a Bat Rider player?
I mean, he's a
got
Pango
a
player.
voice.
He's a
Slot
Pango
ban.
player. He's a
Pango
mid-Mars player. He's
Bat Rider
a-
looks so good right now.
Mars band.
I'm licking my chops to a Bat Rider pick.
is he a Necrophos player?
Well,
That
at the
would be
moment,
okay.
we see Skeeter is the one that's talking most, so it makes me think maybe
Yeah.
9 will be the one playing Bristle or Alk.
9's probably playing Bristle. They wouldn't put
Alliances
Alk against
turn to
DK, I don't think.
Weaver.
No, I think.
That's what we think.
Beaver. Okay, you know what? I think this hero's underpicked. I don't think he's great, kind of like Phoenix, but they gave him a lot of base stats. I think I'm curious if he goes boots. My theory is that you go like Falcon
10
Blade
seconds
into
remaining.
like Maelstrom or something like some damage item, Diffusal even potentially.
5 seconds remaining.
It's probably pretty decent against the Tide Lina lane. It's not meant to have an amazing time. It's meant to be a carry that eventually you don't have to play with it. You don't want another hero to babysit. You're going to look to enable this Alk in the lane, and then you're going to look to
Choose your
play
hero.
for your Bristleback's timings. I straight up believe this Life Stealer pick will not do the trick. Tundra has the most innovative draft I've seen the last like week. I'm hyped. I think it's dope. It's either going to flop miserably, it's going to own. So
yeah, innovative doesn't always mean good. That is a slight problem. Is like there's a reason we haven't been seeing this Alchemist, offlane Alchemist. It was a meme that came and went, and
OG won with it. What do you?
Yeah, they did.
Well, OG is the meme team, you know, like they make that sort of stuff work. Not certain that Tundra is one of those teams. Meanwhile, Alliance, good old faithful here. 3 strength cores, boys. Some damage and providing supports, and just strong. Like the Lifestealer traditionally has been countered by Weaver. Is that matchup different than?
I would say Bristle Weaver is an issue for this hero. I don't think that's like. Lifestealer game. I'm telling you, man, this is some bore snore stuff coming out from Alliance, and I am so hyped to see this Tundra draft win. Innovation has a place in the competitive scene, and this game will tell you right now that it's either going to be beautiful or good old tried and true is going to take it home.
History will tell you that innovations very often fail. More majority of the time they fail before they finally find success. So,
but we don't know how much Tundra has tried this out already in their scrims.
True.
We don't know how this is going to play itself out. We do know that if Alliance lose here, there's still some crazy 6-way tie potential for top 6, and that's going to be something that a lot of people will want to root for because it means a lot more Dota in the future. But we're going to find out. Is Innovative good for Tundra? Are they going to win the series here, or is Alliance going to maintain their top spot here at the Western European upper division of the DPC League? We're going to find out. We're going to head over to our commentary duo of Moxie and Fogged.
I do love me some late night Dota. We got DreamHack After Dark, guys, but no, we do see, I don't think I would call it a bore snore. Is that what he called it?
It's so strict. I mean, it's the standard.
It's the bread and butter
it's the standard.
for them, right?
That's why. Well, look at Tundra. It's all fun, right? It's minus armor aplenty. We've got an hairball that's going to be coming online eventually with potential time lapses from an Aghanims for the Weaver and stuff like that too, and some cool lanes. I actually think this approach is really interesting. I do want to see which ones they do take, though. I do want to see if they do decide to end up putting this Enchantress versus the Tide, or if they do the Enchantress versus the Grimstroke, because they both have their benefits. Dispelling the Inkswell inside of the laning phase, either having a creep to just bully and push away the Grimstroke, or you just play it versus the Tidehunter where you have your Impetus that does great damage versus Tide in that lane phase. So we'll see, because they also do have Skeeter, the Weaver, versus Tidehunter. Bugs can be very annoying, the Swarm, things you can't dispel. Lots of them, actually, in this game, too. Quills later on for Tidehunter will be problematic, and yeah, I'm liking, actually, this heavy minus armor draft that I'm seeing coming out from Tundra, and I've been raving, and I've been hoping to see more Bristleback, because I think this Aghanims is absolutely crazy. If you start to get, like, a snowball going on, too, the Quails just become absolutely crazy. But Alliance, tried and tested lineup. They've been so good with the way they can group up around the DK and the Tide, so yeah, we'll see which one ends up prevailing.
And this isn't the first time that we've seen Tundra run sort of some innovative strats, right?
No.
So, like, a big thing for me is definitely how greedy Snake King is able to be usually. So we've seen him, running the jungle Enigma. The couple times that, he ran the jungle Venomancer, too. But the problem with having these kinds of drafts is everything kind of has to go perfect, right?
Yeah.
So,
they do have good ways to, if they do get ahead, they have great ways to stay ahead, because they have great ways to take objectives, either Roche or towers. They can do a lot of different types of pressure here with Bristleback and Weaver. And they do have some okay fight. They don't have great team fight, but they have some okay stuff if they do get ahead. Alliance's team fight is going to be way stronger for the most part throughout this game. But if Tundra is able to start getting ahead, they could just snowball out of control. I actually like the way that Brian put it. It's either going to own or it's going to fall flat on its face.
There's no in-between ground here, guys. It's either going to be incredible or it's going to be a disgrace now. But we do see that this Enchantress has made her way over into the lane with the Grimstroke, so that is where they are going to be positioning that for that nice dispel, of course.
It's also just a super strong lane. Like the Alchemist, this Acid Spray is super effective even versus Lifestealer. They have a hard time dealing with the pressure that comes out. As long as they can make sure they get all these last hits here at the 33, should be a pretty good start for him. We do see the warding coming out, Sentry Ward to block hard camp, even an Observer Ward to drop and block that medium camp too on the left side there from FNG and from Alliance down bottom. 33 drags the wave.
But Limp's already just sitting so very low, dealing with all of this close play and essays. But he does, of course, have himself a stick. Very, very important when you're laning up against that Bristleback. But we'll have to be very mindful about how many stacks gets on him anyways.
Yeah, should overall be kind of like a free farm lane for the two of them. Limp shouldn't get brought down unless he makes some like massive mistakes. Same thing for 9. They should just be farming. I think the other lanes are the more exciting ones. Hanskin could be at risk of dying. Same thing for S4. The damage that can come out from Snapfire and Weaver is quite overwhelming. They do have a sentry in the lane though. Alliance making sure every time you do plays versus Weaver, you always want to have a sentry, so every time he Shikuchi's through, you're able to get extra harassment, and both sentries actually out of range of each other, so Tundra likely to bring out a secondary one to deward this.
I do like the pressure that they're placing over here on 33, right? This is your factory elk. This is your alchemist that needs to be getting those items. Otherwise, he's just kind of floating around on the map, just taking up farm. So I feel like, you know, the pressure is definitely needed to be placed upon him here. But, yeah, like you said, over here in the mid lane, it's just going to be a bit of a gentleman's agreement. Both of them very, very tanky. And just going to stick around, pull up, or, you know, hit the breathe fire.
Oops. Missing an easy range creep there. 9 does have his bottle delivered. And does have to play around the, you know, the breathe fire. The damage reduction is a little bit annoying, at least for 9, so Limp might pull out a bit ahead in those last hits in the laning phase, but I think then 9, he goes to jungle. He's going to have some stacks probably ready from snaking, and he'll be able to get that extra enabled farm from his teammates.
And here's the other concern for me, right, is that Limp is on that DK.
Yes.
And this bristleback is going to want to fight. Like, he's going to want to fight, like, very, very, you know, early on. The second that he leaves that lane, though, there's going to be pressure on their tower. So again, I feel like this is going to be one of those situations where the fight's going to come to him in the middle lane, most likely. And, you know, again, having that negative armor will come in handy, but it'll allow more space for Nico Baby again.
I think 9 will just chill around here. He's probably not going to leave the mid lane too much. Just going to steal away bounty runes, pull lit creep waves into small camps, into the medium camps, get this farm efficiency onto Bristleback. You jungle way faster. DK, jungling is not really an option early on. You just have to deal with creeps. And yeah, he's going to start stacking them up. The Eternal Envy.
I was about to say this. I've seen Envy do this. I remember him going between the tier 2, tier 3, everybody pinging. They're just like, what do we do about Envy? What do we do? They couldn't do anything.
Yep.
Did it from like super early on. Nico Baby's courier actually following during all this, so.
FNG is going to go over and mess with him a little bit, though. Some stroke just to slow down 9's farm. Even going to ink swallow him on top, too, just to keep him in the area. So he's going to get him low, having to burn his entire bottle charges. And then the next rune is going to be probably super important here for 9. He still has his bounty rune available, but he actually has to call for Snaking to come over, because Snaking isn't having to play the lane since we do see 33. He's just doing lane mechanics. Look what 33's laning. Just pulling the wave back constantly all the way back here, denying full waves from the lifestealer.
How much is that going to come back to bite them?
Dire's bottom tower.
What, Nico Baby?
No. The fact that this alchemist is being allowed to just hit these creeps like this.
They can't really punish it so much. That's the problem. Like, when you're able to get these pulls, once you get your boots, there's nothing Grimstroke and Lifestealer can do. You just have to try to, like, either push the wave into the tower so that he misses some creeps, or you make moves and just get these pulls. Houndskin?
That's because they're very, very low. They've already used a Kuchi, though. LSI coming out to try to go around here in the trees, and they don't have the vision here on Hanskin. Theater trying, walks right into him, though. We'll be able to get the first blood. Has to be careful, because S4 is just chalking him down. He gets the kill on Skeeter during all of this, so I think if you're Alliance, you're perfectly okay with losing Yelena in exchange for the Weaver.
Most definitely. S4's even going to go for a Morbid Mask, it looks like, in the laning phases to keep his sustain up, because there's a lot of harassment that's coming out from side of the Tundra, and, you know, this actually, looking at it more, this is like the most valuable Magic Stick game ever. Weaver and Bristleback on one side, that's always just the best to be able to get those picked up as Snaking. Like, just continuing to kind of just mess with stuff here. They will start to get some stacks ready for 33 so that he can get these good timings on his Soul Ring into that Ags eventually.
A little bit off the mark here for Hanskin as the cookie hop forward. They've got the bugs. Should be able to collect themselves another kill here. Vata will get it this time around, and S4 is forced back. That's a lot of negative armor in this lane.
Yeah, still very strong lane. And we did say, you know, if the cookie connected on the first one, they would have gotten the kill maybe a little bit easier. Didn't have to commit as hard. It's because that cookie missed that they couldn't. As 6 is already finished up on Limp before 9 was able to. Now 9 does hit his 6 as well. But yeah, we'll constantly get poked from Limp, as Limp is going to keep his catapult alive and eventually maybe even get some tower damage here. See what 9 does to make up for the fact here. Looks like he's thinking about going back and stacking for a second here. Yeah, and he's going to do that. While we see Hanskin, he's going to start prepping the stacks too for his Tidehunter. 2.
That's what I like to see. But on the flip side of this too, I feel like Alliance is one of those teams that really takes good care of their jungle. I feel like we're going to... Oh, bottom lane? Snaking? Yeah, he's fine. I feel like... We're going to see some sort of invasion, right? When you've got a bristleback, something like this, you know, and you hit those item timings, you're feeling strong, just going for an invasion. Even like just bringing 33 along too. You could just make so much happen here.
Yeah, they just might on the side of Tundra. And they might even just bring like Alchemist over too. But I do think Alliance, they can fight back over there. They have great fighting heroes early on with their very stable natural draft that they have played. 9, looks like he's asking for a TP mid. Doesn't have his bottle filled up. Might just have Snake King come in and fill that one up so he can keep his presence here. As he's falling a bit behind that DK from that little swing around that he did throughout the tower. Limp is just, he's playing the lane. Bristleback is cutting the waves and did fall behind a tiny bit there.
Alright, well, full bottle being delivered here for 9. To sustain here in lane. He also has some raindrops as well.
So they're just gonna have to, I mean, they're gonna have to accept the fact that 9 is gonna get an Aghanims very early on. Like 33, he's just getting all the farm in the world. They can't actually invade over here. They're checking out to see if there's any blocked camps, tier snaking, double sentrying their triangle. This is just, you know, setting up the Alchemist for this farm, the Bristleback as well.
I like this move. This is very, very smart. Need to get that Ags online there. Or 9. Picky hop forward again, though. 4, just gonna walk away here. Gonna go for a bit of a dive. Does have the Ravage if necessary if he needs to talk. Probably doesn't want to do it. Oh, he does. He wants it. He wants to get this kill on Fata. He's punishing him because that tower has enough damage. Down will go Fata. And Skeeter's not gonna be able to do anything here as 9 does get taken out with a good rotation coming out from the side of Alliance.
They bring all 3. Lifesteal's not laning versus anybody bottom, so they're like, okay, let's just start playing more around Limp, shutting down the Bristleback. The greed from Tundra needs to get punished, and Alliance, they do that, and they're going to start hitting that mid tower with the DK. Tide gets a kill too. All looking good for Alliance. Even though this Alchemist is farming, they're making their own moves and getting quite a lot out of the map themselves. Tonskin won't be able to get that Arcane Rune. But the tower, it's getting chipped away. Gonna be down to near half health already here.
Nope. Just gonna go throw out Dragon Slave over here.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And they've gotten a little bit of damage over on the mid tower as expected.
Yeah, 9 is quite poor though. This Bristleback behind the offlane Tidehunter now at this point.
Yeah, but he's also just waiting, right? In terms of being able to get his Ags online.
Yeah, definitely
instant.
Yeah, definitely needs his own type of build-up though here. Like he usually you see these Bristlebacks already have the Vanguard finished up, so he's slowed down quite a bit from these moves here as he's had to pick up these small little items in between. Yeah, we'll see if this greed does end up working.
Thinking needs to be careful here, FNG, but Stroke of Fate not going to be able to quite connect it. Nico Baby, though, he's hungry. He's looking to get some damage down here. Does have to be careful, though, as 9 stacking up those goo and quills over on the Grimstroke. And Skeeter in the top lane just dancing around this Tidehunter for the most part. Not sitting too pretty, though, here in terms of net worth right now.
Lion doesn't look fussed by this at all. DK just goes to the jungle, he's chilling. Lina goes to mid to soak up experience. Grimstroke and Lifestealer just kind of doing whatever they want. The Lifestealer, as we said, free lane, under no pressure. And it feels like it will be like that for the most of this laning phase. Until Weaver makes the move bottom, there's no pressure that's going to be coming out to Nico Baby. So some good efficient moves. FNG even pulling the lane back a little bit to get more levels. It's just, yeah, playing their draft very cleanly here. It's accepting the fact Alchemist is going to get this item, but who cares? We're playing with our super comfort.
There's something to be said when you're into the game 3. I know everyone's very excited. We always like to see something new and innovative coming out, but there's something to be said for tried and true.
Absolutely. And this has been Alliance in their best form when they go for these triple tanky cores. It's been the best that they've looked. 9, trying to get this 10-minute rune.
Immediately dragging forward. Follow up with the LSA. The haste rune over here on Snake King, but the fight is on, and there's the Sapphire Kisses coming in, though. We'll make them back off as FNG most likely going to fall here. We'll fall Snake King. Skeeter is here, and he's hunting. Probably wants to get his hands on Hanskin, but not going to be able to quite find the Lina.
Good timing for Fodder to get that 6. Even though it's not the most successful kisses, just any type of aggression they can put up. And Nico Baby gets a tower bomb.
The old smoke and mirrors. Yes, you're going to be taking a fight there, but we're going to take your tower. And, of course, being a Lifestealer, the ability to just rage and TP out, super value.
Yeah, I was always going to be able to do that this game. No way to BKB Pierce disable on their lineup on the side of Tundra.
Well, not yet. Eventually, I'm sure we'll see something like it. Vessel Blade. They go for the Ravage. Man, Fata is just cannon fodder for S4.
He sure is. And, I mean, S4 is not caring about just throwing it out there. That says everything about the state of the game. They're not feeling like they need this for some big fight, because no big fight's going to come to them. Tundra, they don't have that big team fight. They have this kind of wonky lineup that's waiting for this Aghanims to cut online for this hairball to really start doing its damage.
That's got to be a bit of a pressure point here, especially for Tundra, when the fact that your enemies, they know exactly your timings and they can keep tabs on you. You know, you've been saying, you know, trying to get more and more vision up, trying to keep tabs over on this Alchemist.
Yeah, and a good way to deal with the quill damage, since it's all physical, they're going to be able to itemize for armor. We see S4, he's going straight for a Vlad's. Some small amounts of armor also sustain that they can stay inside the fights versus these quills that will come out.
33 has an axe, and he's giving it now to 9.
There it is, the hairball.
All right.
Oh, sorry, this is just the other one, sorry, probably. This is just the goo. Of course, the crazy stacks that can come out. Mid too, but the next choice when he gets 20, of course, sorry. I don't know why I was saying hairball the whole time.
You're just so excited, man.
I'm just excited because I know that's what the next item is going to be when he gets to that 20-minute mark. But this does enable so much. The Warpath stacks do get crazy how much damage you're able to actually put out.
When am I going to see a Bristle Cat? You know, he's got a hairball. Like, I feel like Bristle Cat, it makes sense.
I hope not. We don't want to change my immersion. Don't ruin it.
Dude, have you seen some of these sets?
That's true. What do you mean? Slaughter Crystal Maiden?
9, though, again, he is just stacking up everything that he can. The pressure is on over on this mid tower, and it feels like Tundra, they've hit this timing that they want to start being very, very aggressive on. But smoke coming out from the side of Alliance.
And with so much minus armor, too. Like, they can go threaten Roshan after these objectives very early on. Alliance does have good fight around Rosh, but minus armor might just be something too devastating, as you can't dispel the swarm or those quill stacks on the Titan.
Speaking of stacks, 9 has found himself a nice tasty stack over here in the Radiant Triangle, and he is going to devour that.
Free of me.
That's quite painful.
It is indeed.
As we said, though, Alliance not looking too fussed, still sticking to their game plan, but the pace is going to kick up quick. Skeeter on the prowl.
S4 trying to get his position here. Staff Arcus has come out, and S4 realizes, I just need to get out. I'm not going to be able to do it, though. It's too much damage.
I can't believe that actually brought him down. The timing is set. And now, Alliance, you gotta just deal with it. Like, what do you do in response here? You have Nico Baby still super farmed. But Tundra kicking up the pace.
Dire's top tower.
Got a blink on Limp. Walks right into now to say hello.
He doesn't want to deal with him. Look at him. Immediately just backing off. The blink goes right over to his tower for safety, but 9 is a big tanky lad. He's not afraid of anything.
0 cast time is just so nice. This, as we said, minus armor, it's really going to start being such a big problem. But like we said, Vlad's is online for S4. They have the DK armor, so he will be at least a little bit survivable. Armlet also done for Nico Baby a bit some time ago, so small little things that they can deal with. FNG, though, getting hunted.
Can't find him.
They can't yet.
33 is going to stun himself. Do they just figure it's not worth the time? It looks like it's not.
Probably expecting him to have TP'd out. And saying about minus armor, they've got a Solar Crest on snaking too. So all that minus armor is online for the side of Tundra now here.
And a double damage room.
Ooh, baby.
Just the good dude,
Okay.
All right.
Quick, easy one. Snaking. A bit far up. Gets caught out from the Blink Dagger from Limp. Has 9. He just now has no fear. 2,000 HP Bristleback with the Vanguard finished up. And he's going to get some crazy timings after this here. SNY next on the menu. Then you won't have to worry about getting chain stunned. Won't have to worry about actually facing the wrong direction if he does get stunned too in some situations. As yeah, we do see that poor snaking. And 33 just continues to get the farm. He's going to do the same build that we saw. Well, not the full same build, but what we saw from Seb since he's playing versus all this magic damage. He's going to go for the pipe right afterwards. They're going I mean, they can go straight into the pipe, into the Roche, I think, after this. Pipe plus all this minus armor.
Yeah, look at
no
it.
time. And it's just ED from earlier, too. It's just dead. Alliance can't contest this. Look at how quick this is going to die. My God, minus 33, 34. It's just gone. Holy crap.
The damage is real coming out from Tundra. This is going to have to put Alliance a little bit on the back foot here as they figure out how do they approach these fights. They're not online yet.
No, they're not. The Deso will help because the armor will be a bit low on the Bristleback, for sure. Same thing for like the Alchemist, but Weaver is a counter overall versus that lifesteal in the game, and Skeeter is getting a lot of space now to farm up because of the pressure that's coming out from this Bristleback, who just has, they can't deal with him. Look, he's just killing a tower by himself top. He's like, okay. I mean, they're not going to be able to do anything even without the Aegis, so.
No one wants to touch him. No one wants to go anywhere near this Bristleback right now.
Radiant's top
It's a matter
tower
of trying
is
to
under
find some
attack.
sort of a pickoff, perhaps. You can see some pressure being placed over on the tier 2. In fact, moving forward, they're going to try to blow up Fata, and they won't be able to find it immediately. Huntian just teleporting out. Ooh, that was so close.
Unbelievably close. Bit of a...
Ooh, the damage.
Is under attack.
Continue to try to play their game, trying to avoid this Tundra game plan that is completely hitting its timing.
They're executing it very, very nicely, and Alliance is still trying to find that footing, trying to find the opening, and trying to find the farm.
Yeah, but even with the farm, like the lifestealer, you know, farming is going to be great for him, but he's into a counter. He's not only into the Weaver, but also this Bristleback's going to be enormous, and these Ags will constantly get pumped out eventually too. Like 33, he's going to go for his own build right now, you know, building items for himself, going for this Vlad's next afterwards, but eventually too, there's going to be another Ags that goes on Skeeter. And then, you know, you can't kill the Bristleback once. What if he just gets time-lapse when you get very close to killing him too, which will eventually be the thing. So Alliance, now what is the plan?
I think that's the question they're asking themselves right now. I mean, you know, the big thing is maybe they make a mistake, right? Maybe they show someone, they're able to get like a chain stun off on Skeeter. They just try to, you know, find these openings and pull off ganks. But the way that Tundra's playing, and we saw this actually earlier too, the way that they play together is pretty difficult here. Skeeter hunting on the back lines.
Looking for the
FNG. I found a squishy one. Do enough damage before FNG can TP out? Not quite.
It's close.
Not yet.
Quite close. Nico Baby's just, like you said, just trying to play his own game. That's all. Going for the AC next to deal with all this insane armor, the minus armor that is going to be coming out from Tundra. And they do have the crazy team fight. That is always going to be the case, right? With the Tidehunter, with the Grimstroke and everything, but will it be enough? Will it ever be enough damage to actually deal with this Bristle? It's going to be Nico Baby who's the decider.
Thinking about going in here.
He doesn't have a neutral item yet on Nico Baby, huh?
No, not yet.
Didn't find anything good for himself just yet. So for the past 17 minutes.
A little bit of a hunt here coming out from Nice, just running down Nico Baby. Look at this negative armor!
7
the
more
comes
paths.
out. Over on the side, though, Fata does get spotted here by S4 on Hanskins. They'll take out Fata. There'll be no kisses available, but look at the damage again.
Oh my God.
The kiting is real, though. They're just running at them.
The heights. Plus 210. The 7 Warpath stacks. It just gets worse, too, as it goes later on. Once he hits level 18, we'll have 9 stacks. S&Y already finished. He's got a Quicksilver Amulet, too. A beautiful item that you can pick up on Bristle as you're constantly spamming your spells out. He'll be moving that at super fast pace. Tundra's definitely feeling himself like Fata. He dies, but he's like, who cares?
Yeah, he doesn't care. Double damage about to run out now over here on Skeeter, but he has been bullying poor S4 with this as Limp continues to pressure over onto the other lanes. But
good moves from Limp still. He's trying to at least do, like you said, play their own game. Just avoid the Tundra train. Nico Baby even just saying, okay, whatever, I'm gonna go hit the tier 1, but Tundra might just go high ground here.
I don't know how they stop them either. Yeah, you get a beautiful Ravage off perhaps, but how are you gonna get in there? You're just gonna have Nico Baby getting kited the entire time, I think.
You just gotta spam it here with FNG.
Radiant's top tower.
That's what he's trying to do, is Limp going right back into the base.
Hanskin also does have his Aether Lens finished up, so he does have the distance where he can spam these stunts, but Timer's been hit.
Keep spamming out that Stroke of Fate, Dragon Slave, but the buildings eventually, they just collapse.
Look at how fast they're taking it out.
Okay, Nico Baby, he's in. Trying to do a bit of this damage here, but they're just going to try to force him back. His 9, he's just feeling so powerful, so strong.
Close stacks.
All these stacks, 7 paths of wars. Okay, there we go. That's the first life down. Exercising patience here. They'll jump right back in again. They do have the stun. Do they have enough damage? Look at how safe as Laguna. The Ravage comes out, and they do finally manage to take down 9, and they're going to chase down 33 as well. And a couple of these Snapfire Kisses getting tossed out. They'll be able to take down FNG, but they do get the Soul Bind off. Nina wants to fall. Can they get enough damage off in time here to take out Skeeter? No, they don't. He's able to just time-lapse right away. Snaking, though, is getting chonked away here by Nico Baby. Trying to chase him down, but they have the Spirit to blink forward here from Limp. Don't quite have that vision, though, as the cookie hop forward here. Fata will fall.
Skeeter sticks around.
Skeeter is still here, and he can kite them if he wants. He's gonna go follow around here. They'll go with that in fast Left, chasing down over here, but they get the Dragon Tail off, and they just blow him up. Yes, they will. And now Snake King. Is he gonna make it out in time? Yes, just barely.
The chain stuns, they come into play perfectly. Even though there's this S and Y, it doesn't matter. They're able to get him down the first time, and then they have the Ravage for the secondary follow-up. And we do see that Lifestealer just sticking onto him, and now Nico Baby almost has an AC of his own. So that minus armor will come into play. As we said, Bristleback still quite vulnerable versus that physical damage, as he is a bit lacking on the armor department. Alliance with the big team fight, they do come out on top on their high ground, as they need to get that defense going, but it's a big hit. You've slowed down the Tundra train. Your Lifesteal's now getting his good timings.
So much more.
They were so patient during all of that, right? You saw Limp.
And now 9. Maybe stepping up too far, too. They've got Nico Baby coming over, and they've got the stun. He's facing the wrong direction as well.
This is not looking good for 9. He's trying to run away. Can he do it in time? It's a good stun coming out here from 33. He goes. He's trying to body block. He's trying to buy more. Cannot do it as 9 does indeed fall. And now it's looking like 33 is the next person on the back for lines as they just rip him apart. Limp gets himself a kill.
Oh, and he tips 9 too. He knows it the way it's going. Nico Baby almost has the same net worth as this Bristleback. Now he's going to have the AC, the overwhelming physical damage to deal with him. The high ground defense is successful. And Tundra's game plan, maybe that was all it had. Maybe that could have been all of the steam.
Ooh, it's just a little bit off with the LSA here. Limp was hoping he could follow up with a nice Dragon Tail, but already the side of Tundra, they have retreated into their base. They do not want to get caught out, but that's going to open up this middle tower now for the side of Alliance.
And it really is just so much chain stun. Even if he has status resistance, the Dragon Tail stun talent, as we see pointed out there as well, is online too. And now an AC for Nico Baby. So armor department is ticked off. The Quills are going to do less damage as well. Alliance itemizing very nicely here. And I mean, I think that was actually, honestly, the push there for Tundra. That was where they have to get a Rax advantage for this draft to look good versus what they're up against. Now Alliance, they've gotten out of the base. They don't have to worry about them getting knocked on, and they can kill this Bristle. He's shown he can bleed.
They want him. S4 here. No blink on this Tide Hunter, but he has been able to just walk in immediately. The jump forward and get over here onto 9. They just snaking rather. They'd be able to just blow him up. The stun comes out though here from 33. Buy him a bit more time. Solar Crest are just trying to stack up all these quills, all this goo.
But what else is there?
That's the problem.
Yep.
That is indeed the problem.
I love how it's losing 19 armor. It is pretty ridiculous how much it is able to do. But as you said, they're getting these items online. They're getting every single one. Vlad's, Solar Crest, AC, all these other things. We do see 9. He's vulnerable. If he gets Solar Crested, he gets hit by a Deso and this Lifestealer hitting him, he dies quite easily now.
Working on that BKB so that way he has a little bit more survivability. He's not going to be chain stunned. Pata has to be so careful here. They don't have great jump though right now just yet. Nico Baby hunting though. Realizes that Grandma's hiding in the trees and immediately TP out.
Limp found 9. Can they actually stun on him?
So they use that whip. Can they get over there in time? That was the question. S4 over in position. Not going to be able to quite find them in time, so they do teleport out.
Doesn't quite want a blind ravage for that there. Doesn't whiff it just in cases. I mean,
it could have been the perfect ravage, or it could have been an absolute disaster, much like the way they kind of described the Tundra draft earlier.
For my Nico Baby is just a total monster now. Look at this. 39 armor without the Solar Crest even buffed on him. Now armlet enabled. 46 armor. Next to that, Vlad's. As now he's the one knocking on the high ground. And now it's the question to Tundra. They don't have the big team fight. How do they stop Nico Baby?
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
They have no TPs.
They're not. They're just letting Nico Baby knock their door down.
They're just going to go for Roche, but they're giving up a Rax for it.
I've seen this before in a game where it was a Roche for what?
Yeah, I mean, they're getting the hairball that we talked about from earlier for 9 that he did really want, but... Even the one who picks it up, did they give it to the Weaver, actually, for the Swarm application? Okay. He's the one hanging on to it for now. Okay, he passed it off to 9. I was about to say, this is the whole reasoning you go for this type of build. So Hairball online. Alliance, they've got all these items. They've got all these ways to buff up and deal with the constant spam damage that comes out from Quill at this point.
When you just consider the fact that S4 has been allowed to just walk in and get these Ravages off, too, like, that's very spooky.
How do they stop him at this point? He's too tanky. They don't have any type of burst damage. It's this gradual damage that comes out from Tundra that, honestly, Alliance's draft now at this point doesn't really care about too much.
They slow him down quite a bit, right? But he just, like, slowly grabs and pulls himself into the fight, like, I'll get there eventually, and when I do... There's the big ol' Ravage, but...
All it takes is one. As Nico Baby, he was going for the Scotty, but I think he's realizing, he's like, all right, well, I don't really need to actually reduce anything or make him move slower. More stun is going to be effective. As long as I can stick on the target, the Bristle will die.
Is the plan, and 9 stacking up here, all that lovely Quill and Goo.
He's actually queuing BKB on the Bristle. He's realizing that the stuns are just too much for him. That's quite a big concern.
And that runs into the issue of, you know, you've got the Quills, you've got the Goo, you need more damage. And if you're buying a BKB, You're really not outputting that. I mean, the Weaver is, of course, got some of that damage online, but a bit non-traditional here in the way that this game is going for the side of Tundra.
Especially if they want to be able to... The thing is, too, is that getting into the backline is going to be really important for Tundra, but they don't have the heroes to do so. They have to get through the Bruisers. They have to get through the DK, the Lifesteal, and the Tide, which are the heroes that 9 doesn't actually want to go for as much. Sure, the Quills, they're decent, but because they've gotten all this itemization of armor, it's not nearly as effective, and he'll never get to... Like, how does he get to Grim and Lina? Unless they're completely out of position, there's just very limited ways for Tundra to get into the backline there.
It is the Alliance recipe.
It is.
Put the big beefy boys up front and let everybody else hang back and wail away.
Tundra gonna try for the push again here with this Aegis and the cheese.
Feels like they have to, right?
Yeah. Do they have the secondary ags? They do. Okay, so they've given Skeeter that secondary ag, so he does have the time lapse. So the reset 9.
They're gonna try to fight them over here on this tower. The baby just making fast work of it though. They're all here. They stun up fast into the cookie out forward here. But Skeeter's advantage to just hold him into place. He doesn't have the time to even go for the time loss. He's just immediately murdered on the back lines here. They're focusing down Fonte's got those kisses. They've got the stun. They're just about to get the plus the silence off the ravage coming out from Alliance. They're shredding them over here. Another LSA getting dropped, and that's gonna be the Aegis. As Snake King hides in the tree line, up comes 9 and into the ground. He's gonna go again as they get the kill.
That's it. That's just the game right there.
They want Snake King so bad too. The infus cookie hat from Fada. Can Snake King make it back into the base in time? No, he's not. That's another kill for Nico Baby.
The damage from Nico Baby. His physical damage has just been absolutely absurd. That Bristle was at negative like 13 armor. They solo crested him. He's desoed. He's AC'd. He's got every single debuff on him. And now it's time to close the game. The draft, the approach was neat. The attempt was fun, going for that high ground push with Aegis, but Alliance, with their constant, with their just comfort, they get the setup, they get the Ravage, and they take this one. Nico Baby. Cool as a cucumber.
It all looks like it's a day's work for the boys over here at Alliance. You see them, they're just chilling. You know, a little bit of celebration, obviously. They're happy, but
saw some hope of what Tundra